when I put my headphones back on that
Right.
you were able to hear yourself talking. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, don't tell my wife how good I can hear.
Well, you know what it is. They say that you can only hear certain pitches as a man. And one of
Yes,
the
I have
sounds
heard
that you
that.
can't hear is women. Like they operate on too high a frequency, which
That's
is
right.
like a bit of a design flaw, if you ask me. Like, well, I think it's like God has a sense of humor, and part of that sense of humor is that he makes it so that we can't hear our wives. Like he created
Mm,
women from men, and then with
mm-hmm.
women went that pitch in which
Yeah,
they speak,
yeah,
and so we can't even hear them. So Jerry, it's been a long time since we've been here, since we've talked.
yeah. I can't. So, how was your trip to the Mediterranean?
Not as good as yours, apparently.
Not as good
You
as
have
mine.
photos. I didn't bring back photos. So why don't you
Well,
tell me?
look, I'll tell you this. I did not expect that I would be so exposed. You would think every place has their off season. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, my parents realized, oh well, we can't go in peak season down to Disneyland. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
no.
And so they said, oh, let's go in October. When we went down, it was still 98 and muggy. You know, and so I went to the Mediterranean thinking, well, it has got to be cooler down there because there are less international child sex traffickers by at least two, you would think, if what we're being
Sounds
told
about right.
is remotely true. We're at least down two people, so there's a lot less hot air and child fucking. So you would think a lot more temperate climate for a very pale-skinned dude such as myself. Well, Tom, let me tell you, the Mediterranean doesn't take a day off from from being in the heat. Okay, and we were able to stay an extra day because we nearly died.
You
That
got to
was
stay an extra. That's a pretty like.
yeah,
Um, it's a pretty cool way to look at it. You know,
yeah,
we
yeah.
were
It was
fortunate enough to stay. That's hunting the good stuff, is what that
well,
is.
yeah. Well, this guy who was near the pool worked for he worked for the hotel. He found me face down drinking like having drank the water of the pool because I was so dehydrated from heat that I could not get back to the bar. And he luckily he knew how to I don't know if you know this, beat the shit out of people. And so rather than do any first aid, he just continually beat the shit out of me until the water flew out of my stomach and
Did it
out
work?
my mouth. Well, I'm here. And then he said, great job, you win another day in paradise.
Oh, that's how they get you.
Yeah, yeah, it was a bit surreal, I'll admit, but I'll tell you, the next day that pool was filled again and I had a nice floaty that they had, and I was able to you know keep water, bottled water, of course. I mean, we were in the
Not
Mediterranean, let's
pool
be
water.
real. Yeah, not pool water either, but in the beer hat that was for their hotel. It was an actual signature hotel beer hat to allow pale Eurocentric people not die in the Mediterranean.
Sounds like you had a pretty eventful trip to the Mediterranean, Jerry.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Can you imagine?
Just yesterday.
I
I
just got I just got in from the
I just flew in from the Mediterranean, and boy, am I full of pool water. I drank
right.
a
Yes.
lot of pool water.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I met many dolphins.
I didn't. Well, I would. I am curious to hear what other orifices have been filled with different various fluids.
Well, I'll tell
Um,
you, Tom, I didn't let them anywhere near my wife.
well, I
I
mean
know
yours. Like I
we've
know
seen
that
too much.
like
Oh yeah,
when you go to the Rapanarium, the dolphin
right.
Rapanarium,
It's behind me. Did you know that?
that's what the dolphin Rapanarium looks
If you
like.
look at it,
I
yeah, yeah,
do.
yeah. Well,
I
it's
see
it's
it.
open air now. Yeah,
Huh.
that's because it had a structure on top of the rock there. It was kind of like encasing it.
In a dome of some
And
sort. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because you still want to give the dolphins their sunshine when they're fucking, and
when they're raping men, human men.
Right, when they're raping human men or finding slutty women who find it to be pleasurable just fine, you know. Because remember, she changed the definition of what we commonly refer to in that case.
Like, where is that attitude when I rape a woman? You know what I mean? Like, where
I want to know where
those people?
Dude, let me tell you something. That attitude is what has allowed us to be taxed into the ground. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's not that bad. Just let them do it and get it over with. Yeah. You know? And that's the attitude. Oh, like today, right, for my city, I was looking in the paper, and it was a day past because they were having some kind of town hall where you could go and bitch, and I missed it. And so, because I don't care, everything's going to shit. Why would I? Right?
It doesn't matter.
No, none of this matters. You know, it's like get right with God because shit's coming. So I read in the paper, they go, now, Tom, are you good at math? Halfway decent, at least.
No, not at all. But I can give it a go. I can be a part of this joke if you need me to.
Well, it's not even a fucking joke. This is just joke.
Kind of sounds like a joke to me.
It does, right? But it's, okay. So in the paper, it says, here's the budget for the city, right? The town. And we've managed not to raise taxes in spite of our difficult, you know, the economic strife we've been through. And they said that property values have gone up and they're not going to raise their mill rates.
Oh, how good of them.
Right. But I said, well, if you don't raise them, then they raise themselves due to the increase in property value. You're supposed to lower them to correct for that. Because, Tom, for example, 1% of 100 is 1. 1% of 1,000 is, and so on. So if I bought a house at 100 and the tax was 30, and now it's worth 200,000, the taxes are no longer 30, and you didn't lower the rate to compensate for my increased value that I didn't get because I didn't sell the fucking property. And by the way, for all of you American compatriots out there, the Biden administration is trying to come out with what they call a billionaire's tax, which you know is never real. But it's one of those grooming taxes. And Tom, I think you know what I mean by grooming taxes. They claim they're going to do it to one section of the population that all of us fucking hate, despise. So here we go, right? Just fuck them, you know, that kind of thing. And then it doesn't work for them. And then a couple years from now, the rate, it used to be a billionaire. Now it's a millionaire. Now you made $100,000. Now you worked at McDonald's for a day, right? They want to tax your unrealized gains. Have you heard of this? Everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of this? Oh my God. Have you seen it, everybody?
Guys, come on. Have you heard of this one?
Guys, come on. The girl, the dolphin. Fucking taxes. Anyway. You had me at Bigfoot.
What is this? Right. Jay Leno's You Had Me at Bigfoot?
Well, listen, Tom, I don't know if you know this. Every show that he wants to be on, he just gets it. So unfortunately, this is my last night. I've had to warm everybody up to the idea of Jay Leno taking my spot. So they're trying to pass this one through. And the beauty of it is, of course, what are they, like 7 billionaires, right? And they're not going to pay. No. They're not going to pay it. So then what's the next thing? Well, now that you agreed to that, let's get your millionaires, right? And then, of course, they're not going to, half of them aren't going to, whatever. So then it's just going to keep going down and down. And while BlackRock keeps buying up single-family starter homes and leaving the market barren and increasing the cost of the product out there, your house's price is going to keep going up. And they're going to tax you on the money you never made by not selling your property. And then you're going to have to sell it.
Listen,
and live in a pod.
No,
because we thought it was funny to fucking tax Madonna into the ground. Which, by the way,
she moved.
Not
she's not even here anymore.
Is that true?
Yeah, she lives in Brazil now.
I honestly didn't think someone with that much plastic surgery could move. I honestly didn't.
Well, when I say move, I'm perhaps like using
transported.
Yeah, I'm using it incorrectly. What I mean is she was moved.
Does she still have 4 gay black guys carrying her around on like a long couch, or is it?
You mean her kids? Oh no, I'm thinking of Angelina Jolie. That's a different.
Well, her kids are also gay black.
Surgery.
I mean,
yeah,
and Will Smith. Yet more gay black kids.
Are we allowed to talk, Jerry? I'm going to say this right now. We need to make a decision. Are we going to pick on Will Smith today in the duologue, or are we going to take the high road?
Well, I don't want to give. I don't want to. First of all, his wife gets pounded, worse than Rocky in any of the first 5 movies. At any given night. Her hair was not that short because she voluntarily cut it that way. When it's getting pulled out by a bunch of bulls night after night after night while Will cries in the corner. That, my friend. Now listen, here's the thing. I'm not one to poo-poo on a good joke. And I know that the Oscars have literally suffered so much with their ratings that they had to have 2 black guys fight like it was World Star.
Only in America,
dude. Don King should have come out. You had the Whoopsie guy come out. You would have had at World Star. Somebody would have had to do that. Somehow it didn't work. Oh yeah. Well, listen. That guy has to be reserved for 2 non-pussies.
Well, then you have Judge Joe Brown. Or no, not Judge Joe Brown. I'm thinking of Judge Joe Mills. All right, let's get it on. Yeah. You got to have him, too.
Yes, for
the clean fight. Let's get it on.
Oh, yeah, when he was doing those. What was that? Celebrity
death match. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Yes. So here's the thing. I don't want to poo-poo on it. I think that the people who got so heavily invested that it trended on Twitter and stuff for days, and the suckers on YouTube who know better and needed needed their own clicks, did it in their titles, made select videos, I think there's a special place on our segment after this for those people is my first, that's my initial, because I'm sitting here going, okay, we're bombing the shit out of Yemen. There's the worst war, possibly ever going on in Ethiopia right now. There's a food famine coming that no one respects or gives a shit about. We're being infiltrated by the rich and soon enough by anybody south of Guadalajara. And meanwhile, people are all like, dude, did you see that one fang hit the other fang? That's,
You're using the wrong slur here, I think, Jerry.
Oh, shit. That one cunt hit the other cunt.
Well, you know what? Who cares? I'm not going to pressure you to say it. But
well yeah.
I don't want to put baby in a corner, so.
Tom, I was just in the Mediterranean. I can't.
You're still living. Yeah, you've in fact got enough melatonin that you probably can say it. Oh,
I know, right, dude? Let me tell you. I have a short, quick aside. One time, I was teaching a class, okay, and this Jamaican family shows up. They're sitting in the front row, and I put my name on the board, and they start talking amongst themselves and kind of snickering. And I'm like, I know I'm in downtown Hartford. I know I'm a white boy on my own, but this is on. I need to know what the fuck you're laughing at me for. This is not, I'm getting paid time off after this. I'm not even getting overtime. You know what I'm saying? I'm on salary, and it's not good salary. Right? So I said, all right, hey, so I couldn't help but notice you kind of were giggling when I put my name up. What's the joke, And they go, you look just like him. I can't do it, the accent. I probably could, but I'd have to be really fucking loud. My kid and my wife are trying to sleep. So imagine the accent. You look just like him, insert it. And I go, look like who? the captain. Now, for those of you watching, I was about 60 pounds lighter. Okay. So if that, and so they said, no, but you look just like him. I said, Captain who? What do you, come on. And they go, no, you don't understand. In Jamaica, there's a huge statue to the actual Captain Morgan because he went down there and, he did what pirates do down there. Okay. And they said, you look just like him. And I'm assuming that means there are at least some Jamaican people with Morgan as the last name that I'm probably distantly related to.
And you guys are curious what Captain Morgan looks like.
And Tom, even I have his hairline. And Tom, even further, I would say it's possible that if I went down to Jamaica, I would possibly have property rights down there because, I mean, really, right? I come from a long line of seamen.
I bet you do. You came for a long line of seamen?
I came for... Look, Morgan is... My dad was in the Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy. There's Captain Morgan. There's also Charles Morgan, the famous, I think it was World War II naval fighter, something. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, also the word Morgan, the last name Morgan, if you look it up, it's Welsh Irish.
It's Jewish, right?
What?
I turned the audience on you, our anti-Semitic audience.
Yeah, they're like, wait, he's possibly owns part of Jamaica because it's pirate slavery or whatever. Okay, wait, he's Jewish. Anyway, my name is derived from has an Irish Welsh heritage, and by definition, I guess it means seafarer or of the sea. So I'm literally a seaman after a long line of seamen.
Oh, Jerry, that doesn't. Yeah. None of that surprises me. That you were.
Even the part that I'm not Jewish.
That part did surprise me a little bit.
Did I ever tell you that I had 4 Hasidic Jews come up to me and say, "Are you Jewish?" I was just walking on the street, right? And I go, "No." And they go, "Well, you look Jewish. Are you sure?" And they followed me around the block for about another 500 feet going, "I think you need to find out if you're Jewish. You look really Jewish." And I'm like,
they just need somebody to let it go, guys. I'm not a Jew.
Well, no, I'm thinking to myself, dude, how are you telling me I look Jewish? You're the one in white shirts and the tassels on your,
Yeah, you guys have top hats and stuff on. You guys
Dude, exactly.
Guys, look at
it's 100 degrees out and you're wearing wool jackets.
Yeah.
Those
Hasidic Jews.
By the way, I met those guys in the Mediterranean.
You brought them back with you. They followed you all the way back.
Well, Tom, now that I realize my Jewish heritage, how could I not, It
would be irresponsible not to. All right, I do want to clarify. Earlier I said something about you having your melatonin, but really what I meant was melanin. And as a show that is rooted in, giving the truth, I felt that it was important that I go ahead and clarify that. You know what? I do this thing where this is so
Can I just say, Tom, to prove your point? There's a lot of times that we've done 4-hour shows, and I will watch this chat not move an inch. I've brought up that I'm from a long line of seamen, pirate booty, and potential Jews saying I'm Jewish. And this chat is moving faster than I've seen since I joined the show. I'm pretty sure.
We've hit a lot of nerves, I think. So there's some things that I want to say. I do this thing throughout the week typically, but it's been 2 weeks, and this is actually new. So I type jokes that I want to talk about or whatever that I want to work on, and sometimes I forget about them. So I'll have this long list of do-it-yourself jokes, as I call them. And
okay.
I have some here. First, I want to, because I know you'll have something to say about this other thing.
Okay.
But I have, I have some news for anybody who's been keeping track. I finished my ketamine treatments. It was. Thank you. I am now officially off ketamine. I am no longer partaking in ketamine.
Tom, were you let off your ketamine treatment because you were the slowest horse in the race?
I think that probably had something to do with it. Probably because I had also the biggest dick among the horses.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I had to rub.
Why
that
am I imagining? I am now imagining Tom as BoJack Horseman dancing in a club, high as shit on ketamine.
On ketamine.
Talking about theology.
I told my son yesterday when I came back from my appointment. He said, "Oh, you were at your treatment this morning," and I said, "Yep." I was higher than giraffe nuts. And like, he's 12, so he's laughing. It's always funny when I say something inappropriate. So he thought that was the funniest thing. And then whenever my wife got home, I said, I told Xander that I was done with my treatment. And I said, you know what he said to me verbatim? This is a quote, right? He said, so you were higher than giraffe nuts. And I don't know where he heard such a thing. I like pinned it on him. And my wife was like, what?
Oh my goodness!
I clarified.
He lost his HBO Max after that.
He was no longer allowed to play Fortnite with the headphone or the headset.
Dude, can I tell you? I have a similar joke experience. I was hanging out with a buddy one time, and this is back in AOL Messenger days. For those of you, who also have gray in their beard. And Tom, I was on AOL Instant Messenger. I was playing guitar and hanging out and getting drunk with my buddy, my bandmate, right? And I thought, oh, let me go harass my girlfriend at the time. I thought it would be funny. And so I got up on AOL Instant Messenger, and the two of us are getting drunk. Because she was friends with his girlfriend, the whole thing, right? And so she says, what are you and Frank doing? And my response was, we're getting bombed like Iraq. And I still, 15, 18 years, I don't know how many years, what was I, 20? 20 plus years later, that's fucking hilarious to me. Might be the best off-the-cuff drunk joke I've ever made. Not sure, because I'd be drunk, But
there's one time speaking of Jews, we were talking about Jews, so I can say this. I can do this segue.
No, for sure. I frankly, if we weren't, you could just say, speaking of Jews,
it would have been okay. I dropped my phone and the screen just shattered. It was a hot mess. I called and I had insurance on the phone, and for once I actually when I don't buy insurance, I break my phone. When I do buy insurance, I don't ever break my phone, and I turn in a very a pristine phone or whatever when the time comes. And then I don't get my money back. But this time I broke my phone. I had insurance. I had to call the people and do a claim. And I told the lady on the other end of the phone, I said, my phone, I dropped it from the top of the stairs and it hit the cement. And now it looks like a window on Crystal Knock. And and there was silence. And me being like the insensitive prick that I am, I was like, did you hear me? It was like a window on Crystal Knock. And then she's like, oh, I heard you. I just thought it was a pretty insensitive joke. And then she's like, is there anything else I can do for you today, Mr. Millerstein? And I said, no. But like I was going to say, the ketamine treatments are done. There was this thing that I wanted to tell a couple weeks ago when it happened. When you're under the influence of ketamine, my only experience with ketamine is under this controlled circumstance where like they do like a 40-minute treatment of running ketamine through you, and then once it's done, it funnels out of you, and then you get up and walk away. Yeah, it's great. Oh. And during that 40 minutes, though, you really do get to experience ketamine in all its glory. It's amazing.
Right.
And but sometimes funny things will pop into my head, and I'm like, man, that is really funny. I got to remember this when I come to, and I'll write it down or whatever. But like sometimes I'll try to move my hand so I can type it into my phone, but I can't because you're like completely numb from horse tranquilizer. And so I'm like, okay, remember this. But your brain continues to do whatever it's doing, all your subconscious thoughts and shit. But I happened to it was like at the very end of a treatment, maybe a week or two ago. Because the song Break Your Neck by Busta Rhymes comes on my ketamine playlist towards the very end of my treatments. And when it came on, for some reason, I thought, I'm like, oh, Break Your Neck by Coolio. And like I was dead set, like Coolio sang break your neck. And I was so sure of it, but as the effects started to wear off, I'm like, hold on. And I'm thinking of something else at this point, but the song is still on.
Tom, I think you mean to say hold up.
I said, hold up. It is not Coolio that sings Break Your Neck. It was Busta Rhymes. And then I started thinking about that more. I'm like, well, they're kind of interchangeable. I mean, like, they came up around the same time, right? You know, they're both older black rappers who were very popular in the 90s.
Allegedly.
And then like fizzled out towards, 2000s. But they're still around, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah. I think they're alive.
They are. I've seen them. Because actually Busta Rhymes is a huge advocate for taking off masks. He was very
isn't he a big muscle guy now? Isn't he like, he's big, right? I mean, he's not that lanky dude anymore.
Now,
he's fat.
Yeah, he's fat now. But then Coolio.
Ironically, fat would be how everybody knows Weird Al, or most people know Weird Al. And of course the connection of Busta Rhymes' Amish Paradise.
Yeah, well, Coolio, yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry.
You made the same mistake I made. I had ketamine.
Do you understand how long I was holding that?
How long?
You said, the first minute you said, oh, Coolio, break your neck. I said to myself, Busta Rhymes, Amish Paradise, Weird Al Yankovic, hold it. And I'm listening to you, and I'm waiting for other information just in case I need to alter it. Hold it.
You gotta have a notepad in front of you, which is what I do. But so then my ketamine mind, I was like, well, they're kind of interchangeable. They're aged black rappers, whatever. And I'm making these connections, and I'm like, and instead of being like making some kind of useful connection with all that, I said, man, I wonder what it would be like if they fought. And that was like where my mind went with it. And then I started imagining Busta Rhymes and Coolio fighting, because I'm like, wow, that'd be pretty cool, right? Like, they're older guys. It's a pretty fair fight, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at either of them in a while.
So that's what I would love to see.
Do you think Coolio's like meth hungry? Because if Busta Rhymes is that right? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he looks
Coolio now. I'm pulling it up. Let's see here.
It's not favorable. I saw him in a
wait. Cool, dude. Do you see this? Well, of course you can. Coolio. This is a video. Okay.
Well, yeah, I definitely can't see it.
Coolio. Where are they now? From Grammy to jail to cooking show.
Huh. Seems about like the trajectory I saw him taking. Yeah.
Dude, his hair. All right. I'm going to throw it out there like this, right? And he has hats to compensate for this hair. Okay. Imagine, do you remember Prodigy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Smack My Bitch Up Prodigy? Is that who we're talking about?
Right. And remember how the singer had a purposely done bald spot with like the spiky colors around the top of his head? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, put that hair on a 55-year-old black dude who still has the same.
Looks right.
Well, they were cornrows. I don't know, because they're not dreads. They're cornrows. They're like thinner.
Corn.
They're thinner, And well, here, can I bring it up? Let's see. I want to show you. It's just so because
you might be able to share your screen.
The image is no longer available. Why? Well, okay.
Kind of a bummer.
So let's see if I could share. How do I do this? Wait a minute. Why is it not letting me share my screen? That's weird. Anyway,
it's
here
the
we
ghost
go.
Of Coolio, I think.
It's a go. Well, here, look at this right here, right? Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See? Just look at all this. Look at
that. Would you look at it? Just look at it.
Just look at this. And here's the thing. Check this out. He has hats that compensate. It's like air holes in the back that he just sticks them through. You see what I'm saying? Look at this.
Would you look
Isn't that incredible?
It looks like
just look at this.
The equivalent of old black man pigtails. Is that what you call that?
Yeah, I would say something like that. Yeah. So there you go.
But then in places where it's inappropriate to wear a hat, like, I don't know, like a funeral or maybe church, like he has to...
Except for this hat. You know, black funerals and shit. This is fine.
Oh, well, yeah. Or...
Kangols fine. The Saints
weddings
hat, not
on the
so much.
beach. You can wear that as well.
Also true. This one, probably not as good. You know?
Well, you can wear that at like a gangbang.
Yeah, but he showed up to his divorce proceedings in this one. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, Coolio charged with gun possession.
You're right, yeah. I know. I was hoping you wouldn't see.
And then there's a picture of Coolio holding a gun.
Oh, why can you not? Oh, there he is. There it is.
So we have evidence of, the crime being committed.
There's literally gun possession. You know what I mean?
It's on
Google Images, here's the best one, isn't it? Look at that. Holy shit. Could you imagine? You wake up one day and you're Weird Al, and this guy is at your front door going, "You make fun of my motherfucking son." You know? Holy shit, look at this. Dude, what?
Well, I still probably wouldn't fight that guy.
Dude, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me when Hammer tried to go gangster to stay relevant.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Not to say that, look, he looks intimidating. Oh, damn it. I can't believe I'm on, literally you had me at Bigfoot and I can't. The Wendigo. Look at him. Right?
Oh, yeah. Coolio the
a little
Wendigo.
bit.
Wendigo.
You know how they had like the Leprechaun movies, but some of them would be in Los Angeles and they had Ice-T in and shit?
No, you're thinking of Las Vegas, and then also... Oh, no, you're thinking of Leprechaun in the Hood. You're right. I apologize.
Yeah. So, here, this is Wendigo.
Wendigo in the Hood.
Wendigo in the Hood, yeah. Or what's that very famous L.A. Oh, my God. What? Compton. Wendigo in Compton. Right?
Starring Buster Rhymes. You know, I feel
Rhymes.
I feel bad shit talking Coolio, but now that I see him, I'm pretty sure Busta would smoke his ass. You know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah, like he's skinny, sure, but you know, like he looks a little bit more athletically.
He's like a laughing stock.
Yeah, but you know, why can't I see anything now? I only see your little icon now, Tom. I don't see the show anymore.
Maybe I need to share my screen again because we swapped
I
screens.
think you have to. Yep. Yes,
just right on the screen. We'll just do it right there.
Two strong seamen swap screens. Sorry, fellas. In the
Miller
chat.
isn't a seaman name. It's an old English. Actually, it's Molinowski. I don't know. I looked it up recently. It's like going back to like the Latin origins. Very weird etymology on that one. So here's the other thing I wanted to share. I wanted to do jokes about Foo Fighters drummer dying. But I assume you've got a thing about that. Do you have a thing about that?
Well, okay, so this is the one thing I have. I'll let you have it. Okay.
All right. Well, mine's not very good. I can wait until
first of all,
the thing.
Everybody knows Taylor Hawkins is most well known for being Alanis Morissette's drummer. Okay. So that's first, all right, you guys? That's first. For all you Mike in Manitoba specifically, shout outs to your girl Alanis. Now, Tom, local radio. Do you listen to the radio at all, or is it always like you're a Sirius XM that you got for 2 cents off of a fucking Indian lady who got raped on a bus?
The latter.
The latter, yeah. Well, I listen to local radio because I don't have class, and
You don't have Sirius XM money. You don't have color film money, as
I don't have 2 rupees. I don't have 2 rupees, or a fuck bus, I guess. I don't know, whatever. So
it's called the Busanarium.
Busanarium.
But it's not referring to it being a bus. It's referring to like because Coolio actually said a busanarium is where you bus it.
You know what the worst is too? I'm also thinking, what would an Indian dolphin driving a bus look like?
Probably just brown, right? Like it would be
just a brown dolphin. Yeah, just a brown dolphin.
Because you got
also wearing sandals.
No, you can't wear sandals on a dolphin.
Dude, he's not driving. He's
Is
not
it just
using
one foot? I was imagining it using one side of the fin.
Well, this is
on
what
the
I'm
gas
saying,
and
right?
one
So
on the
there's
brakes.
two sides, so you gotta, dude, you share that bus. You don't own that bus in India.
Is the
You don't,
bus standard
you know
or
what I
is
mean?
it automatic? Because that's kind of an issue for a dolphin, I would imagine.
I don't even know why. They're just driving.
You never
Is
see
that-
him using his hands on the wheel or the
No.
stick, right?
No, like, and here in America, if you hear like a chopping like a chopping sound when a big 16-wheeler is trying to stop, that's Jake brakes, right?
Yeah.
So this is dolphin.
I'd be even more annoyed with that than the Jake brakes, I think.
Yeah, probably.
You know, you're not allowed to use dolphin brakes in neighborhoods, right? Like they have.
Oh yeah,
signs.
they put in speed bumps just because. Anyway,
Dolphin bumps.
dolphin.
They're painted like dolphins.
I was gonna say it's like a dolphin on a bus. Anyway,
Where
And they
did we
actually-
go? How did we end up here, Jerry?
did they enunciate it out? Anyway,
Just a picture of a dolphin on a yellow sign, like a yellow diamond
Yeah.
sign on the
Yeah,
side of
and
the road.
it's
And you're like, under what? Like, how did we get to this point where we?
yeah.
have...
What is this?
Yeah.
And I go, is that a dolphin struggling to say there's an autistic kid in this neighborhood? Anyway,
It is.
so
And that's-
yeah, it is. So Taylor Swift here. Taylor Swift Hawkins. He well-known drummer of Alanis Morissette.
Mhm.
He's recently died, and they were slandering that he used to be an addict. They were slandering that rumor had it that there were all these drugs, but of course he died. I saw an article that said his heart was twice the size of a normal person's. That's weird with all this myocarditis going around, isn't it?
It can't be it.
So weird. How would a
But
guy?
he wanted to get the shot, right?
Well, if you were going to do that or lose your job, I mean, I don't know. So here's the best part, right? So I'm listening to local radio, and they're talking about him.
The
Like
bar
he
is
was-
pretty low for it to be
like
the
he was
best
the Pope.
part, you know what I mean? Like,
Dude, they were talking about him like he was the Pope. They were like, Taylor Hawkins, drummer of the Foo Fighters, the last rock and roll band. He's dead, and all this sort of stuff, And this fucking dumb bitch says we're gonna do a number of songs in his honor. And first of all, you would think the first song would then be in your honor, but it wasn't.
missed a golden
Okay.
opportunity there.
Just was not.
It kind of
Yeah.
says everything you need to know about women taking on jobs that are traditionally
Dude,
males.
what the
right?
fuck? Yeah. All right. Then, Tom, best part. The next song after her long, driveling ramble was Everlong. Now, what is wrong with that?
I don't know. Was he not part of the band when that was the song?
He ended up doing the video, but the drummer on that track is Dave Grohl, and the drummer in the band who quit because Dave kept redoing his tracks was the drummer from Sunny Day Real Estate. So literally, they said Taylor Hawkins, this Hall of Famer, this
And he
legend,
he didn't even have
this-
anything to do with the song.
this legend of drumming. His claim to fame on the song is that he was in the video. That's it. That's it.
So it's kind of like if I don't know, Travis Barker were to die or whatever, and all of a sudden they play, I don't know, Josie by Blink-182 or like
Sure.
Apple Shampoo or shit. They play
Whatever
all
the
this
newer
stuff.
stuff is where they've replaced him or whatever.
Well, even like before, because
Oh,
he didn't
before
come
him.
along until
I'm sorry,
Enema
that's
of the
right. Yeah,
State. It was some
I
other
was
guy
thinking-
who,
I was thinking Tom DeLonge. They replaced him with the Alkaline Trio guy, right?
Matt Skiba.
So imagine that. Tom DeLonge finally gets murdered for revealing all of the alien info.
Well, let me make this. I want to make a point very clear. Tom
Okay.
DeLonge has not revealed anything. he's continued to deliver us nuggets of nothing. That should be the name of his band instead of Angels and Airwaves. It should be Nuggets and Nothing.
Nuggets of nothing. Yeah.
Because he hasn't. He's always going on. He's booking like high profile radio. Well, he was for a while.
Yeah,
High
he was on
profile
Joe
shows,
Rogan. He was on
but he
Coast to
never
Coast.
Revealed anything. He's always like, "Hey, I'm working on something big. You guys are not going to believe this. I can't wait to reveal this to
I
you."
got this whole show.
He's like, "Hey, and as a matter of fact, tonight we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about such and such a thing." As soon as I come on the show, I'm gonna reveal this big fucking. I'm gonna dump this big bomb on you guys. It's gonna be bigger than bombs over Baghdad. Or bombs in Iraq. That's bombs over Baghdad.
Getting drunk, getting bombed like Iraq.
Yeah. And then I was trying to do a callback, and then I did an Outkast song.
Outkast, the guy from the Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. Outkast. Yeah. Big Boy and
sure.
And what's his fucking name? The fella from Fast and the Furious, Tyrone.
The fella.
Tyrese.
Oh, Tyrese, yeah.
Tyrone, same thing. But
it's funny you say Fast and the Furious because that could have literally been.
Could have been Ludacris.
Oh, what's his name? Yeah, Ludacris. Yeah.
I would have been smarter. I don't know why I had such a hard time coming up with any rapper in that moment. I was replacing Andre 3000 with any black rapper, and I couldn't come up with a single one. I could have said DMX. I could have said a number of them that I like.
Literally, to say black rapper is like saying rapper twice, more or less. Modest Yahoo and Eminem.
For a long time, I really didn't like
Action
any black
Bronson.
rappers. I was more into, like, if you were white and you were a rapper, I respected that, and I thought that was like the only type of rap I listened to.
Really?
So like ICP, like the only respectable type.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to like dig myself in a hole here. So my joke about the Foo Fighters, or I'm sorry, the Alanis Morissette drummer who died. I had a joke lined up saying something about how like he'll be missed. He had a big heart. Very sweet man. And then I had I was talking to V earlier this week about this, and I told him that the drummer for Foo Fighters died, and he said, "Well, who's the drummer from Foo Fighters?" And I said, "Well, no one now." And I thought that was pretty funny.
Tom, let me tell you, in the same vein that he took the shot, no, in the same vein as what you're saying, I texted my brother when this happened, and I said, "You know what the worst part about all this for me is? When I heard the news, and they said the drummer of Foo Fighters is dead, I thought, well, that could be anybody."
So here, since you've stolen the platform from me, you've stolen it right from under me. I'm
so sorry. Tom,
you
ever tell a joke to somebody?
Yeah.
You ever tell a joke to somebody and you know it's gold? You know it is. To the right person, at least, right? And you think you've got that person, and then they just nothing. You ever have that?
All the time.
Dude, I sent that joke to my brother. Not even a response.
Did he also not laugh at your BJ and Dick's joke?
And he did not laugh at this.
He doesn't sound like a very funny guy. I'm starting to realize that this is why you guys split up on the Fistful of Joke show. Because, like, he was, like, fistful of facts or something, and you were like, well, I want to tell jokes. And then you're like, okay, well, I'll do Fistful of Jokes. So then he, like, split off. He went his own way. So, my other comment,
real quick.
To the
audience. Oh, yeah, please. Quick. And then I want to do the BJ's thing, because I want the audience to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, because they need to hear this. And I know I'm not the only one who's going to think it's funny. You and I should have been on that show together, Fistful of Jokes. We could have told all sorts of jokes. Not that I would have been fun. Then I would have had to branch off, because you would have been like, you know what, you're not that funny, Tom. Thanks for saying that. But whatever. I said this. I was trying to say, you have to be a real foo fucker to force your drummer to get a vaccine against his will, and then act like you're sad when he dies, right? Because that was the thing. I was so mad at Dave Grohl. Not like I cared about Dave Grohl to begin with.
Sure.
But like when they made it a mandatory thing, if you want to go to a Foo Fighters concert, you have to be vaccinated and all that gay stuff.
Yeah. And then one of them got coof, don't forget.
Yeah, after
the day they announced it.
So like, not that I was planning on going to a Foo Fighters concert, because quite frankly, I could take them or leave them. I think they have some good songs, but I'm not like, I'm not waiting in line. I'm not even like picking up a ticket late in the sales or at the Ticketmaster for that, because I don't go to concerts, and I sure as shit wouldn't go to a Foo Fighters concert, and I absolutely would not go to a Foo Fighters concert if they required me to get the vaccination. There's no way you're going to convince me, and you're not going to do it with Foo Fighters tickets. Like, that's not.
I will
you're
tell
not like,
you, not. Yeah.
I don't know, Tom. Are you willing to do it for 2 Foo Fighters tickets?
So, Tom, are you saying that out of all the giveaways that they had, because remember, they were really trying. Do you remember?
They really did.
People forget. They really tried to entice people. It was like just $100. Just walk by us. We will give you $100 and stab you. Right? If you remember, it was
I recall.
It was what was it? The Shake Shack was giving away stuff. Krispy
Free
Kreme.
donuts.
I don't even remember it all.
Oil change.
Get shot while your car is being
Remember,
changed.
somebody was offering sex for the. Remember? There were like, and then OnlyFans accounts were like, "Hey, it's free if you can prove you're vaccinated."
Right, which is interesting because you have to dox yourself to also show you're a fucking loser. But
pretty.
It's like
it's a bunch of opportunities came available if you just got the shot.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I would never do it, of course, for that. In fact, they came to my state and I didn't go. But I do want to say, when they first were a band, this was maybe Color in the second or third album, I think, and they came through town with Weezer and Hot Heat.
Oh yeah.
And that is one of the best fun just fun as far as I'm not trying to be cooler than thou band show that I went to kind of thing. Like, I'm not talking about, oh dude, I went to this band's I saw the Ataris at a backyard show because the venue got broken into and on fire and stuff. Like, not one of those, right? This is just, I went to a little, I went to a stadium thing, and it was them, and it was really, really fun. But with that being said, I haven't thought they were very fun for about 10 years. They have the occasional song where you go, oh, really? Right? No. Let's just say, Tom.
Name the most recent Foo Fighters song that released that was like new that you remember. Name it. Learning to Walk Again. Okay, well, guess what? That's fucking 20 years old. That's
yeah. I'm so terrible with names too. It's awful. You really put me on the spot. But With Honor is probably the one I remember. Or at least songs from that album, which was like, I think their 5th or 4th one or something. They're on like 10 now, which I know because, putting things together here, Tom, just saying, in their stupid movie where they go to Studio 666, Dave Grohl kills Taylor Hawkins by beheading him with a cymbal because he was possessed by the devil or something. And so,
I have a hard time understanding what that movie is even about.
I never saw it. I'm just saying, I saw an article where they were like, oh yeah, by the way, Dave Grohl wanted everybody vaccinated. Taylor Hawkins died. And by the way, in the movie that Dave Grohl was possessed by the devil, killed all of his bandmates because he wanted to keep his name in lights and achieve continuous stardom. And
so he killed fucking.
And Taylor Hawkins was dead in that movie too. And that was the article I saw. Thankfully, I didn't have to see the movie to know that. Oh, but the BJs. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's talk dicks and BJs. That's what we're here for.
Where they are, I don't know. It's a BJ's. It's like a Costco's. It's like a Sam's Club. Do you guys have that? You knew what I was talking about, Tom, but I don't know how far BJ's goes.
When you said BJ's, I was thinking the restaurant because we have a restaurant called BJ's.
I didn't realize that.
And it's actually very close to our Costco. It's across town from the Dick's, so I don't get to make that joke, but like...
Oh, you just blew the joke.
I did not. I already did before that, then.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because remember I said Dick's and BJ's, so I mean...
Oh, well, that could be anything.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, okay, so all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, BJ's is a Costco, Sam's Club-like business. My wife and I have decided in our prepping to get a quick membership there, stock up on some shit. I pull into the drive, and you get like 20 cents off of gas a gallon, if not more. Like, as you gain points, you can get more. My dad paid like 50 cents less the other day. Long story short, we go into the BJ's parking lot. I open up the door, I close it, and I look around to get my peripherals, get my surroundings. And Tom, what was the store right next to BJ's? It was Dick's.
My question is, which one came first? Because this can go either way. You were quick to dismiss me.
I said there's no BJ's without Dick's.
Right, but also I would think that if there was a BJ's, Dick's is going to show up. You know what I'm saying?
So are we implying that the BJ's is good at as an offering? It's not just. You're not saying it as an action.
You know, if a lady says BJ's over here, you know, Dicks are gonna show up, right?
Right. If she's pointing at a door, even, you know, like she's not even saying it's her necessarily. She's because
BJ's.
It's right over there.
Just BJ's. You know, that's how I like an old timey, you know, carnival show. Oh, we got BJ's over here. Come get your BJ's. You know, and then the Dicks are gonna show. But also,
come on over to BJ's where we have long 12-inch Wheaties in front. All right, sorry.
But then also, like, if Dicks are present, a BJ, that's just classic supply and demand. They're like, well, there are Dicks over here in need of BJ's. I'm glad that
Thundercock Jackson got it. He said blew the joke, capitalized blue.
You know, Mike
he got
tied
it
for that one too.
There
it was Mike
is.
And Thundercock.
Yeah.
They both caught the blew the joke thing, and so it worked on your behalf. So good for you, Jerry. Also, I do want to say,
Tom, you did it too. We're in this together.
We're
okay?
a team.
Listen, and now that we're part of this team, I'm gonna have to say, if we're going to take this traveling on the road at all, I require you to get vaccinated.
Well, my heart's already big enough, Jerry. I said that to somebody. I actually did.
Has anyone made the Grinch joke?
Yes, I've seen that joke being made.
Oh. I just thought of it now.
Yeah, where it shows like the X-ray with his heart kind of big or whatever.
Yeah.
And it says Grinch just got his shot. That was more popular around Christmas when we were kind of discovering.
Oh yeah.
It was fucking people up. No, it would have been after, because when did the vaccine roll out? The vaccine's been around for a year, hasn't it? Hasn't it been?
It's been a minute. Yeah. It's been a minute.
All right. I can't believe we've lasted this long, Jerry. I'm proud of you for sticking it out and not getting vaccinated, dude. It was
my goodness, you too, man.
Tough road to hoe when it comes to not getting vaccinated in the face of everybody judging you for not getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
We became the thing that we hated, because back in the day, I used to make fun of anti-vaxxers, right? But like, then this came out and I got lumped in with them, and I'm like, hey man, like, I gotta apologize. Not that I'm an anti-vaxxer. I'm an anti-experimental serum genetic editing medication treatment person.
Right.
But I'm like, I go to the anti-vaxxers now. I'm like, hey man, I get it. Like, I apologize.
I'm sorry,
because I said some pretty hurtful things about you guys. I made some pretty, albeit funny, jokes about you that were hurtful, and I apologize. So I said, now I feel your pain. It's kind of like, you know, when the bully, you know, like when they on 21 Jump Street, when they go back to school and like the bully becomes like the bullied. It's like, I feel that. I'm with you, you anti-vaxxers. All right, let's do the shot. We'll do the welcomes. We'll do your whoopsies, the weekly whoopies. To welcome to the chat. Happy to have you here. It's so good to be back. I'll tell you what, I've missed, you know, it's going to be chaotic for the next few months because of school is all it takes a lot of my time. But what we're going to do, my promise to you guys and my promise to you, Jerry, I need you to hold me to it, is on the days that I feel like maybe we're not going to be able to do, maybe for the next 6 months, we just do some fun episodes like this one's going to be. I'm excited about this episode because it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun with it. It doesn't take any preparation. And once you guys in the chat see the format for today's episode, if you have recommendations of what you want to do going forward for the next few months while I finish up my degree, and I'm telling you, I've got like 4 classes at a time at a master's level. It's a very hectic schedule, plus like an internship, plus I'm subbing so that I can build this fucking Falcon house with my son.
What's Tom saying is he's having a really difficult time keeping their mouths shut in his basement.
Yes, exactly. Tying them up and strapping them to the wall. Don't call the police on me, please. So, what I want you guys to hold me to is that instead of doing like super informative, hey, let's talk about. That's the only reason we haven't done the Cult of Saturn episodes yet. After doing the
Right.
Left Hand Path episode, is because it's such an involved, detailed episode. Let's just have fun with it for the next few months and don't but that means it's like a contractual thing. I need you guys to know that we're not going to come at you with like information. We're going to come at you with fun.
Tom, excuse me.
We're gonna
I want to
have
make sure
fun.
people don't misunderstand. We're still bringing truth. You could still come to this show for the truth.
Yeah, if that's what
It's
you
just
come
going to
for,
be funny.
we're gonna have more fun when delivering the truth. It's gonna be like
That's right.
your crazy science teacher in middle school when he forgot to take his medication. That's what this is gonna be like for the next couple months. So please next few months, please bear with us. Welcome to the chat, Mike in Manitoba, Thundercock Jackson. Always a pleasure to have Thundercock back in the chat. Mostly Wave, Count Rhythm, Megabit, Accelerate, who came in hot with some racism and anti-Semitism.
Oh, shit.
Hold on. Where was it?
I see it. Kolstad is burned. Wow.
Oh yeah, it was anti-black stuff. Jake Hoob.
I have to admit, I've never seen this person, and I don't even remember what we were saying. I know we made,
You know what it might have been, because I was on Exodus Americanus a couple weeks ago, and a lot of their fans, they have some very extreme fans, so sometimes we get some of their people.
Oh yeah, how'd that go, by the way?
It was great. Had a lot of fun. Had a good time.
Cool.
Had some laughs, and and then the next morning, I couldn't even drink that night because the next morning I had ketamine, so I had to do it sober. But I did tell the story about how I did an exorcism for Roscoe. If you want to tune into that and you want to check that out, Exodus Americanus, it was the exorcism of Roscoe Jones was the episode, and we had a lot of fun. I told that story, an untold story up until that episode. I didn't tell that story to anybody because it's just a privacy thing. I wasn't going to talk about it without his permission, and I wasn't going to ask him, hey, man, can I share your very personal story? And then so Jake Hoob, who I had a very interesting conversation with recently, and he and I, I've actually been toying with the idea of starting some kind of like separate chat where we can do kind of like Bible study type stuff. So if that's something that people are interested in, please hit me up and let me know. And if we can start like a little group, that would be all right with me. I think that would be a fun experience. Don Trout and Stephicus and Efren Flores joined us a little late in the game, but
my goodness, come on!
Appreciate you being here, Efren.
It's as if Efren thinks, hey, they're going to go for 4 hours. I'll show up whenever.
That's a negative. I don't actually have to get up early tomorrow, but
Well, I do. And let me tell you something. My daughter, she's going to be 1 soon, and she's teething, and she's going through this phase thing where sleeping is not cool. I've been on the rocking chair. Reclining chair, excuse me. Reclining chair the last couple nights. Because, she needs the old cuddles. She needs the old being held to relax. So, no 4 hours for me. But we're going to get down nonetheless. So don't even trip.
Don't even trip, Jerry.
Don't even trip. That's a callback to a part of the show you guys weren't privy to.
Yeah, if you guys subscribed on the Patreon, you would have heard that part. The Patreon, you get access to the pre-show chatter. It's not a good Patreon. All right, so what are we cheersing to, Jerry? What are we celebrating?
Oh man, you know what?
Am I getting off of the ketamine?
No, I almost feel bad. You know what? Let's drink twice.
I miss
because Tom is no longer getting the K. Tom is stuck in the K hole.
I'm out of the K hole.
Without the K. That's the thing.
I'm just stuck in a hole.
You're just in the hole. Yeah, that's it. Black as your soul.
So what are we?
You'd rather die.
What else other than that?
Your escape from the K hole, which is very much like the first episode you and I did, where we had that big hole in the ground that we had to discuss.
Oh yeah, you mean the transgender reconstructed?
Yeah, dude.
Opening. Yeah, that was a good. The Yemen's well of hell. bar
That's
valve.
right. Dude, Yemen's War. There's the hole. That's the first episode we did. And now you're in a transgender reconstructive surgery K-hole absence warp
It's
thing.
the worst. I miss it. I miss my transgender K-hole. All right, to me, getting out of the transgender K-hole.
That's it.
Man, that is good. I'll tell you what, that Captain Morgan orange vanilla twist, you can just drink it. I just took that shot. I probably could have done it while, speaking casually. And
I was just saying, that was very seamless and smooth.
It's got that citrus. It almost tastes like what I want citrus floor cleaner to taste like. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I'll tell you a story.
Can I admit to you before your story?
No, go ahead.
Oh, tell it. No. Well, I was gonna say, I expected you to come back with the joke saying it tastes exactly what you would think a transgender reconstructed hole.
No, it tastes good. Like. Come on. I already told you it tastes good.
No, you know that citrusy.
So no, they don't. They have to wash with Pine Sol. So and floor cleaner, kitchen floor cleaner. So no, when I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna tell you one of my moments in my life that I'm not particularly proud of. As a youth, I remember I've not always been the brilliant man that you see before you today. I was 16 or 17 at one point, and I was in the shower. Yeah, I know, hard to believe I was at one point 16 or 17. But I was, and at that time, I was in the shower, not for like the whole time, but for some of the time, I was in fact in the shower.
At some point.
There was periods of time where I was in the shower at that age. And I was exploring my body oftentimes. So it led to me being in there longer than I should have been. But there was a bottle of shampoo that my mom used. It was Suave. We weren't fancy. We weren't wealthy. So it was like Suave, but it was apple shampoo. Speaking of, I know I mentioned that earlier with Blink-182. See, it's still fresh in my mind like it was yesterday.
You're doing callbacks like crazy here.
I know, inadvertently too. But it was an apple shampoo, and it smelled so good. It really did. And if you've ever smelled apple shampoo, it's really the best. And I, one day, in my infinite wisdom, my teenage wisdom, I said, anything that smells this good has to taste good, right? I mean, it just makes sense.
You would never, like, if that was a pie on a sill, you wouldn't question it.
No, not even for a second. You would follow it like a cartoon. You would do this thing where you wave along or whatever, and then you catch it, and then old Miss Simmons comes yelling at you and says, "Get your nose out of my pie! Get your penis out of my pie!" I know we've all been
I was going to say, Tom, you were just saying you were exploring your body. It was apple shampoo, and I waited for you to say,
I put my penis in the shampoo.
I put my penis in the shampoo bottle, and then Eugene Levy broke into your bathroom.
And he did this on the toilet.
Yeah, and he looked too long at you too, Yeah.
Well, with my penis in the shampoo bottle. Well, I know this is going to be hard to believe, Jerry, but the opening of the shampoo bottle is really only about yo big, and I'm just a little bit too big for that. Just a little bit. Otherwise, I would have. But anyways,
shit.
I poured some in my hand, smelled it again, and I'm like, no, it checks out. It smells so good. It has to taste good. Take a smell. Yep, okay, take a lick. Awful. The worst possible thing I've ever tasted in my life. So, but
sheesh.
But because shampoo is like a base, it's a soap. I mean, if you've ever tasted soap, it tastes exactly the same. It just smells different. But the same. That's what I want floor cleaner to taste like. Is this? Okay, so here's my endorsement for Captain Morgan's Orange Vanilla Twist. It tastes like what I want kitchen floor cleaner to taste like, but it doesn't. That's
what's great about that statement. You're almost inherently saying, while I have your flavor here in front of me, I'm not satisfied until I have the freedom to mop my floor while drinking from the same bottle. That's really all your statement is.
To be in the same bottle.
That's all that's all your statement is. You're not saying that the Captain Morgan is bad. You're hoping for improvement of a completely unrelated trait for the floor cleaner, And it's all you're saying is, look, it's really eco-friendly, Tom. By the way, I had no idea you were an eco-warrior for this cause. And I think, Tom, we could probably create a great hashtag cause to promote the idea that your cleaning products better taste like how they fucking smell, because we can't afford groceries anymore, and we need to keep a clean house and can't stand life, and we're clear out of ketamine.
It's with this food shortage,
Right.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people out there pouring themselves a floor cleaner and Coke.
Yep, that's it.
And I'm one of them, and I want to be one of them. And Captain Morgan's doggone it, you need to make that happen. Make me a floor cleaner and
come on, just
Coke.
let Mr. Clean be an honorary pirate, right? Like if he's
the merger between Mr. Clean and Captain Morgan.
Yeah, just take his flannel off, put the floral shirt, the Seinfeld shirt on, right? The puffy shirt,
Jerry, I don't think Mr. Clean wears a shirt. I thought he was like topless.
Oh, he's got the white shirt.
He's got muscles.
No, he has the wife beater shirt.
Oh, okay. I thought Mr. Clean just was muscular. Maybe that's from my Mr. Clean porn that I look at.
I was gonna say you're just thinking he does. Yeah, you're just thinking of Mr. Clean shirtless because you were drinking it because it tasted like orange.
I hate that this has come out about me. All right, Jerry, please let's talk about the Whoopsies, the weekly Whoopies.
All right, let's do it. All right, Tom. Your nearby, your neighbors to the east, Tennessee, my friend. Tennessee is where we're going with this. I've decided,
they would be to the south.
Well, stop. With the gravitational pull. You don't even. All right. So, here's the deal. Tom, I've made an executive decision. Unless there's something incredibly funny, political, or just coof or something, World Economic Forum, I'm not bringing those Whoopsies now. I'm going to go to ridiculous stuff. Because, frankly, I figured this out. I was kind of depressed going into the show, thinking about the awful shit that's going on and the whooping we're about to all receive. Okay?
Weekly whoopings now.
Yeah, the weekly yeah. And I said to myself, you know what? Self, you'd better get your act together. And here's how you're going to do it. You're going to put the weekly Whoopsies as the most ridiculous, retarded shit you could find very quickly before the show while you're talking to Tom. No. And so here we are. I just want to let everybody know we're going for a little bit more actual funny. Okay? That's how we're going to do this. We're not going to do yeah. Not as many hey, look, we've killed all our kids, you fucking morons.
So now we're going to be funny.
It's a little bit more.
Aww.
Tom, I'm going to say a sentence halfway. And you're going to tell me what the rest of the sentence is. Okay? Tennessee woman mauled to death by... Anybody in the chat, too, we could say Tennessee woman mauled to death by...
a dolphin in the rapenarium.
No. Toasty! Tennessee woman mauled to death by her own dog.
Oh. Was this a... Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Oh. Whoopsies!
Whoopsie.
Well, I mean,
was this
now
a
that we
bull?
know...
Was it a pit bull, Jerry?
I don't know. They're not saying. They don't want to discriminate.
Oh, Thundercock got it. He got it. He said pit bull.
Oh, pit bull. Yeah, there it is. Well, he didn't say her pit bull, though, right?
Camels.
So that's
Mike in Manitoba.
Camels? The cigarettes?
Apparently, Mike in Manitoba doesn't understand the United States and what sort of animals are indigenous here. However,
although I will say, I went to Cincinnati.
I don't know what Canada
and
has,
rode a camel one time.
Fair. Yeah,
just
we do have. Well, we have camels here at the Genesis Museum or the Creation Museum.
Oh, that's right. Well, I rode a live camel.
Well, it's a live camel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Well,
like a museum but it's also got a petting zoo in it.
so here, Tom, in case you're, at all concerned about people getting too used to putting themselves on camera for things.
I'm not. That has literally never crossed my mind.
Well, to the rest of you. CBS Miami-Dade prosecutors have released a video of an alleged hitman counting the cash he received for allegedly murdering a TSA officer.
Oh.
The selfie video shows Javon Carter sitting in a car counting thousands of dollars in cash reportedly received for killing LaShante Jones in May 2021.
Well, that sounds like black on black crime. If I had to guess.
I don't listen.
Hold on. Say the names again.
Okay. Javon Carter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's black on black.
And LaShante Jones.
Tell Jerry. How do you not know?
Listen.
Say those names again and tell me what ethnicity they are. Like,
okay, I will do this.
With a straight face, Jerry.
Oh, all right. Here we go. The selfie video shows Javon Carter.
Come on.
Wait. You asked me to do this straight face.
I know. I'm just speaking from the peanut gallery.
Okay. The penis bigger than the whole of a shampoo bottle cat.
That's a different penis.
Okay. The selfie video shows Javon Carter, a well-known Egyptian, sitting in a car counting thousands of dollars in cash he reportedly received for killing LaShante Jones, Czechoslovakian Polish
Have you ever
woman.
met a Czechoslovakian whose name was Jones, Jerry?
I like that Jones was it. That was the best part. That was the best part. You're like, Jones, you fucking moron. LaShante Brockovich,
come on,
maybe.
Like Jones too. Like, how many Joneses do you know? Like, if you were to think of when somebody's name is Jones, do you think of a Czechoslovakian?
Dude, it's their married name. Guy? Are you serious? I mean,
no, I am, Jerry. You know I'm a racist.
Come on. Oh goodness. Okay, ladies and gents. Yale med school employee admits she stole, and
probably
resold, and resold computer equipment. And I'm going to ask you all to guess for how much money. Yale med school employee admits she stole and resold X amount in computer equipment. How much did she make?
Well, I need to know how many. Jerry, that doesn't. Come on. You got to give me one of the numbers, okay? So she stole X amount.
She's
and
42.
Sold it
I don't
for
know.
X
No,
amount.
no.
I need to
literally
know one or the other.
Well, okay.
Give me one of the numbers.
Okay, here. Let's give a little background. As part of her job responsibilities, Patron had authority to make and authorize.
Is this a black girl?
It's a Jamie Patron.
Oh,
they don't show a picture.
Okay. The last name is Patron. I thought Patron was the first name.
Yeah, but she also did go back to Georgia. So really, everything's up in the air.
And went back to Georgia. It could be
that's
anything
right.
At this point,
dude. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. So, as part of her job, Patron had authority to make and authorize certain purchases for departmental needs as long as the purchase amount was below $10,000. Beginning at least as early as 2013, Patron engaged in a scheme whereby she ordered or caused others working for her to order millions of dollars of electronic hardware. Okay, that's the most I'm going to give you. How much? In total, Patron caused the loss of approximately blank to Yale. What are we talking?
I don't know, Jerry. This is a tough one because I know. I'm sorry.
Any guesses in the chat? What do we got?
Somebody said, well, we've got Thundercock with 120K and then Count Rhythm with 2.5 million and then Don Trout with 50, which 50 sounds probably about the closest I would go with.
Don is the closest. And I'm going to just end it here because I know time and all that. 40 million.
Wow, nobody was close except for Don Trout.
Don, 50, yeah.
50 million.
And she also, and of course, Tom, they have to mention she failed to pay taxes on the money somehow.
You know, why wouldn't she?
So
I looked up while you were talking, which is why I don't
yes.
know any of, like, when you asked me still, even after I had asked you to clarify, I didn't know because I was too busy looking up this lady. And she looks like Jennifer
Is she
Lopez.
hot?
No.
No, shut up.
No. She looks like Jennifer Lopez in that, like,
Stop it.
skin tone, but, like,
Oh.
she looks like Lizzo in skin weight.
Oh
Right?
no.
Yeah, she
In
looks like a
girth?
fat Jennifer Lopez.
Is that a girth?
A very heavy Jennifer Lopez. But
Oh,
it could, like I said, it could have gone in. But here's the funny thing.
Did say tree fitty.
Here's the funny thing. When I looked up, I typed in her name, whatever, Patron, and I spelled Patron like the tequila because that's what I thought it was.
Oh,
but it's actually Petrone.
Yeah, it could be Petroni. I don't know.
But then when the picture came up, she's a Mexican girl. So I was right, like, with my guess with the last name, right? But if it was her first name, I would have guessed Black because, you know, it kind of sounds like a black person would name their kid Patron, right? You know, because they don't.
Oh, I'm seeing her now. She has a huge forehead.
Yeah, she's a big woman. She's a sizable woman.
She just has a huge forehead, dude.
Yeah, she's got everything about her is pretty big. Yeah,
including the 40 million. But
so did she make out all right? Like, what's the punishment for Patron?
Tom, listen. Here's the thing, dude.
What is the fate for Patron?
Here's the thing. First, I have to mention that 40 million is not just how much she stole, but also her calorie intake. Now,
40 million, I'll tell you what, that's color picture money in the 80s.
That is color picture money. That's true. The end of the article says she was released on $1 million bond, which she used from all her stolen money.
Right? She still got 39 million.
That's she still, and that, you know, she probably bankrolled that into some kind of NFT scam.
She doesn't, or she bought more medical equipment to turn it over for a profit.
How about I give you this back, but you have to pay me twice as much.
And the fucked up thing is Yale did. They bought it back at a
That's
at a
right.
loss.
They're like, well, where else? She honestly bought them all. What are we going to do?
We already have. We're already logged into some of these, you know.
Yeah, we already are on the list of people looking for them.
Certificates are downloaded already. So,
if you had been arrested, brought into an interrogation room, right, and you were trying to get away from detectives, where would you go?
In an interrogation room?
That's right.
Is there anything more you can give me about this circumstance, or?
No. Oh wait, the guy. Okay, he was arrested because he broke into somebody's home and stole cash from a little girl's room, and that was it.
Jerry, can I say this?
Yeah.
If I break into somebody's home,
right,
the last place I'm going is the daughter's room. Okay? Because, like, I since if anybody ever breaks into my home,
for
the last place
your tasty shampoos, I assume that's where you're going first.
No, I'm going into the bathroom for that. But I'm not an idiot, you know. I know where shampoo is kept.
Sure.
But there's not much I know, but I do know where shampoo is kept. The last place I'm going is the little kids' room because I'm like, what am I going to make away with? I know my kids. The most valuable thing in their room is their computers.
Is the thing you bought them, right?
So but I don't stash my money.
By the way, I have to address the chat here. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Yeah, what's up?
Excuse me, Count Rhythm. You're asking if her husband was Jewish, the old Patron lady. Okay.
That doesn't sound like a Jewish name.
No. I'm gonna go even beyond that. Okay. She got caught. Of course not. Next. Could you imagine? I was actually mad about that. Could you imagine? That's it. Okay, Tom. If you were this man, you would hide by hanging from the ceiling in the interrogation room, hoping that they would just go away, and they would leave, and you would run off afterwards.
Did it work when I did that?
No. The aviation unit was called out to assist
Oh,
from
he
above
got out.
after yeah. Okay.
So it did
all right,
work.
Well, I mean, he got caught again, though.
Well,
Okay. So in the early morning
worked,
hours, deputies
Some of it
responded to a home on certain avenue after a suspect was found pacing on the back lanai. The suspect then fled the scene once law enforcement arrived. The homeowner advised that the suspect, known to them as Terrence Meehan, had broken into their home and stole cash from their daughter's bedroom. Hours later, a neighbor in the area reported a suspicious male sitting in a wooded lot next to their residence. The individual, this is what snitching does, everybody. They get you in the, what is essentially like, I don't know, White World Star. I'm not sure. The aviation unit was called out to assist
White
from
World
above.
Star, you know what that's called, Jerry?
The news?
America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh. Kids say the darndest things. Oh, goodness. So he was taken to the district office for questioning, this guy. And while in the interview room, the detectives heard a commotion and opened the door to see Meehan hanging from the ceiling in an attempt to escape custody. And at the time of the arrest, he was also in possession of stolen credit cards, ID, and medical marijuana cards, which in Florida I just thought was your ID. But that's, I don't know.
One of them.
Yeah, it's one of them. All right, Tom. Here's the last one, so we can get to the good
shit. There we go. All right.
Oh,
you got your
okay.
Whoopsies. You got your Whoopsies.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah, this is fill in the blank. Again,
these are my
for
favorites.
everybody. This is this is a good one. A 12-year-old boy died.
Aw.
Hold on.
Boo.
After he was forced by his uncle to clean blank that contained blank.
Semen that contains sperm. Right?
I mean, you're very close. It's with the theme of the show. Anybody in the chat, I'll say it again.
Dolphin sperm that contains genetic material from dolphins.
A dolphin dong that was in a woman. That was in a willing woman's hand. A 12-year-old boy died after he was forced by his uncle to clean blank that contained blank. Anybody?
Ass that contained poop.
It's
got to be pretty close, right?
40 minutes. Oh.
Semen that contains sperm.
Oh, Count Rhythm. He's still going with the I'm Jewish thing. I was like, wait, what, man?
You've sown the seed of doubt. All the anti-Semites in the chat are going to they're going to stop tuning in because you're a Jew.
Oh no. I feel like I dropped the viewer count already.
No, I did that.
So here it is. A 12-year-old boy died after he was forced by his uncle to clean paraphernalia that contained fentanyl.
Oh, you know what? I did hear about this. I like Mike's better, though. Let's make Mike's the real version.
Okay, I'll read it.
Water with no pee. And then bleach and ammonia is the other
That's
option.
Nice. See, there's no such thing as Mediterranean pool water with no pee. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's why it's such a hard story to believe. Going with septic waste. I don't know where, though. Well, you don't want to know where he cleaned that from.
Yeah, no. All right,
read those with the fan input instead. Do those.
Oh, so the 12-year-old. Okay. A 12-year-old boy died after his uncle forced him to clean Mediterranean pool water with no pee.
Toasty!
A 12-year-old died after his uncle forced him to clean bleach with no ammonia.
Toasty! Sounds like he would have done all right if that were the case.
Yeah, that sounds actually safe.
It's not mustard gas, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a responsible uncle. It was a freak accident, sounds like.
Yeah, that was he actually fell off a ladder. It had nothing to do.
Something totally different.
Yeah, it was totally.
Uncle got off scot-free because it was just like a weird thing.
Yeah, the uncle was devastated. Are you kidding?
Sounds horrible. Yeah.
He ran him to the ER.
He carried him.
He carried him the whole way, Forrest Gump style.
Crying, covered in pool water.
No pee though. the 12-year-old boy died after their uncle forced them to clean the old septic waste with nowhere else to go. Toasty! Oh, they don't know where else to go. Okay, sorry. And then lastly, the 12-year-old boy died after their uncle made them clean the insulation that was covered in asbestos. Toasty! See, that also sounds like they're starting their own business together and something just went horribly wrong. You know?
Well, that was probably... There was just a lot going on in that attic.
Yeah, there's just like much less... They saw a ghost, maybe?
There's asbestos and...
You know? Yeah.
Insulation. Oh, Count Rhythm thought it was something to clean with. That's why it was confused. There was some confusion in the chat. That's okay.
I see. Okay.
It's
last one. I know that was supposed to be the last one. Okay. 4 Dead. Okay.
Boo.
Serious
hold
stuff
on.
here.
Hold on.
Toasty! Boopsies. Boopsies. Boopsies.
That's a sad story, Jerry. All right, moving on. 4 Dead.
Wait,
That's the
4
article.
Dead. After driver crashes into
ammonia with no bleach.
An encampment of homeless people. Now, Tom, the real question is, in what state?
I would say probably California, right?
What do we got in the chat? 4 dead after driver crashes into an encampment of homeless people.
So I like how it says, and Stephicus says free Disney trip. I don't know what that means.
I don't, can I mention, by the way, I canceled my Disney Plus today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you just don't like pedophiles, Jerry? What's wrong with pedophiles?
I'm against pedophiles.
Oh,
and
since when?
Since Disney has now said outright that they're going to start pushing more sexualized gay sex stuff in their programming, and that they want to mandate that certain people be in 50% of their shows, which is just why can't they just be good characters? And if they happen to be, then fine. So I said, you know what? If you're gonna put if you're gonna purposely say you're gonna push it, and I don't know why call it push it? Why mandate? What is this?
Well, because what they're pushing is mandates.
Well, this is so I said no, that's enough. I'm done. In the same way that I canceled Netflix after they made the movie Cuties. I realized I probably should have.
a Netflix
because of Cuties.
Because of Cuties. I thought, what a brave move.
Yeah, Tom has only gotten his stuff because of Cuties and Euphoria. That's it. He just
Mike said he heard Dead and automatically assumed Chicago, but the problem there is
I hear what he's saying. The problem
is it was with a car, and nobody drives a car in Chicago. And what you're thinking of is a gun, Mike. And see, this is where I wonder if Mike, I think he just doesn't recognize what's going on in America. He has an idea of America, like a rough idea, but he doesn't. So he thought camels.
He
America.
Just assumes it's Chicago.
No, we got horses.
Chicago with camels. I don't understand.
Yeah, he thinks camels. America. No, we got horses.
Right.
With cancer. Right. But
that's true.
And they've got the bump on the back, and then you've got he hears people dying. Chicago, wrong, not a car. Guns, we do guns there. Okay.
Yeah, guns are there. Car.
Close. Mike has
Oregon.
like an approximate knowledge of America, which is fair because I have approximate knowledge of Canada. So as much as I want to pick on Mike, I'm like, well, I can't because I'm
literally judging Canada. All right, I don't know about you. I judge Canada based on 3 main points. Okay.
Syrup content.
1, my trip to Nova Scotia for a week one time, where I found out that Piggly Wigglies were real. I was like, "There's no way there's a business named that. Are you fucking serious?"
Oh, that's not even. Yeah, that's.
It was true. No, but listen. The Canadians taught me to love. And then, secondly, Letterkenny. Yeah. That show.
It's a pretty accurate depiction, I would imagine. I assume. I don't know.
Right. I assume. And then third, the Rick Moranis, you know, that pre-SNL show he did with, I think it was John Candy, Rick Moranis. Oh, and I'm sorry, also Tied with Kids in the Hall. I assume if you're not in Canada in a Letterkenny type setting, you're gay guys
dressing as women,
like kids in the hall. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
Checks out.
Yeah, so 4 dead from a driver crashing into an encampment of homeless people in Oregon. The last person allowed to have a car. I can't believe it killed 4 people because it was a Prius.
Hard to believe they can get it up to speed.
Yeah. Well, understand the health.
Somebody was pushing it.
The healthiness of the encampmenters were not good. You know, they weren't in the tip-top shape, Tom.
My issue with all this, Jerry, is that you're referring to homeless people as people. And I find that offensive as a person.
I said encampmenters.
You didn't even you're the one who attacked them.
Yeah.
So Megabit, who is from Chicago, actually, he says, I think he means drive-bys, which is...
That's true.
True. Yeah, you can't dispute that. There are cars.
It's cold in Chicago.
But here's the thing. People drive from... Nobody in the city drives a car. People come from out of town to do drive-bys, and then they leave town, where the Chicago police can no longer pursue them. It's out of their jurisdiction. As I understand it, I'm not a law professor, but from what I understand, that's how it plays out. Jerry, are you done with the whoobies?
I am done. We are done. I was going to talk about a ex-Texas sheriff being caught with child porn and getting arrested, but
did he? You can't arrest police officers or sheriffs or whatever.
Well, that's why he was ex, maybe. You know.
Oh. Well, he would have to be an ex-sheriff first.
First, because you can't
arrest police.
Right.
Come on.
Well, Texas, it's a wild west.
Just anybody can arrest it. Everybody's a cop in Texas.
Tom, let me tell you something. I don't know if you know this. 1 out of every 4 illegal immigrants are sheriffs in Texas.
What was that statistic, Jerry?
1 out of every 4 illegal immigrants are sheriffs in Texas. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that.
You did?
That's a factoid that I knew.
That's just something you were leaving it up to me to inform the audience about.
I didn't want to share it. I wouldn't want to steal your thunder. All right, we've got like 20 minutes.
I have studied up on it.
We've got 20 minutes to talk about how we're going to eliminate 8 billion people.
Fantastic.
All right, so this week's episode, what we wanted to do.
I don't know why that was so funny to me. Yeah, we fucked this up.
Oh man, I took a screenshot of it because I wanted to be able to. So here's the story of this. How we came about this episode, right?
Yes.
I found I peruse Reddit not because I'm like a virgin or anything, which I might be. I don't want I don't kiss and tell. But there was a post in Conspiracy, the subreddit, that said, if aliens took over the Earth and announced that we had to reduce the population from 8 billion to 1 billion, how would we choose the survivors? And I thought that was, immediately I thought, well, that's easy. But then, like, as I was doing it in my head, I'm like, well, that's not easy. That's tough. That's a tough question.
Were you going by the way they broke it down, by the way? You have the screenshot. I don't know if you could show it, but, in the post itself, it says something by gender, this, by that. Did you happen to, like, immediate reaction? See, now I had originally misremembered it when you sent it to me. I immediately went to my wife and I misremembered it. And I said, if you had the ability to play God, so to speak, and say, who goes first, right? In this situation, you know what she said?
What? The cripples?
I can't. This was so hilarious. She goes, anybody who thinks they're better than me.
Did you tell her, well, we can't get rid of everybody, right?
I was like, how are you going to come up? I said, yeah, well, I did. I said something along the lines of, like, do you understand that people... oh, shit. People with 2 DirecTV. Two DirecTV satellites on their camper think they're better than you because they got 2. People with literally cupcake diamond encrusted nails that are so long they can't wipe their ass anymore.
Yeah,
they're better than you.
Sure.
You understand? So the difficulty becomes: do you actually narrow it down by people who are even remotely, like if you had let's say you were just a millionaire, just a regular old millionaire.
Yeah, there's like dime a dozen.
You would maybe think you're better than the plebs, right? Not just even being a dick. You're just like, well, I earned it. You know what I mean? Not just,
sure.
That makes sense. But then you got to get into the nitty gritty where you're like, could you imagine that interrogation room? Excuse me, ma'am. We saw you coming out from Krispy Kreme in pink sweatpants, with the pink crossing, and the Uggs boots, and someone else's wig for sure. Can you tell me if you think you're better than this woman right here?
Just like everybody is like well, I got to tell you, Jerry.
Yeah.
I've made it very clear how I feel about people with bangs. All right.
Right.
I don't think, what? Here's the thing though, Jerry. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm better than anybody. I'm like, there are some people
Tom,
I could probably, hold on.
Come on.
There are some people I might be
people
like,
whose penis fit in the shampoo bottle. I think you probably.
I don't think I'm better than them because I view their existence objectively, Jerry. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing. So no, if your wife said anybody who thinks they're better than me, I am not among those people because I don't think I'm better than your wife. But I am coming from a position. I'm coming from a position of humility, and because I don't know her well enough to judge her, and for that reason I have to. And even if I did know her, I know of her. I know she's got good taste. I don't have good taste. So I'm already at a disadvantage.
Oh, come on. So your wife is a lovely woman.
We're going to sit here and just say nice things about each other's wives.
Well, I'm going to say nice things about it, but I also want to fully admit I've never even seen your wife. And
she's a very secretive person.
Yes, and I've only heard her voice from the side camera. So you see Tom, everybody here. Oh, well, wait, I see Tom. You guys don't. Anyway, when Tom is normally on screen, that is how I see him. Like this. And so in the pregame and sometimes postgame, I am privy to marital discussions, usually in whispers. Also, the lights are off and there are cloaks. Don't ask me what the hell's going on.
Or a wet slapping noise.
Oh, stuff. I didn't even. I said cloaks.
Jerry,
I don't know how that leads to.
You sick bastard.
My goodness. Now your wife will never show her face to me.
Because you're imagining her getting banged.
Well, now I'm like, oh my God, you do it in cloaks? I said cloaks, and that's what Tom came up with.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys don't do it in cloaks? So here's the thing. Shame on. Well, now I do think I'm better than your wife if you guys don't do it in clothes. So here's the breakdown. I don't like the breakdown. I think it's. I don't think it's necessarily a breakdown, all inclusive. What I think it is a breakdown to kind of help you get the discussion started, and to polarize the people who are involved, as you'll see with the comments. Okay. So it has it broken down by age, race, religion, gender, profession, IQ. Are these things that you would judge?
I have no idea how this is going to show up in our chat.
Some of which I think are valid, okay? For instance, my immediate response was 40 and over. Gone.
Really?
Yeah, 40 and over. We got to get rid of it.
Wow.
And it's not because I hate people who are 40 and over. It's just those people.
Well, guys, it's been real. I guess Tom was talking to V earlier this week about how.
Okay, here, we'll do it this way, Jerry. 36 and over. That way I'm included. No, so here's my rationale. And you can please push back on me if you want. If my point is this.
Right.
Bare minimum 65 and over. Okay.
Fair.
Why would you say fair?
Because I think if we're going to have to, have to.
No, you have to take pleasure in this, Jerry.
Oh, pleasure? Well,
Yeah,
then certainly. Okay, then certainly.
Fuck yes. 14
Then certainly, yeah, let's just start her up. Let's go. Let's make this Lord of the Flies, and let's just start at 10. Okay, let's go. Well, look. Okay, did you take any when you were taking stock of the question? Did you happen to catch, kind of like by the vibe of the question, whether or not they were setting people up to act exactly like the people doing the Great Reset right now?
I did.
Because here's the thing.
I want to have fun with this, Jerry. I don't want it to be a real thing that we're.
No, well, hear me out, right? My answer was the fucking 1%, like the Bilderbergs, the Rockefellers, the guys we don't even know about, because so God's doing this, right? Like we can't, or they're giving us the information on where to find them, right? And then we're doing like maybe a cool Kingsman kind of thing. I lose 50 pounds. We're in nice suits. We're traveling internationally. We're going on trains that aren't filthy. Dude, this could be fun, right? Right. But I'm thinking of the controllers who were trying to kill everybody else first. And are they very likely to be over 65? Probably. So that's where I'm at with it. That's what my answer was first. Unfortunately, I see in the questions and answers, everybody has, whether it's for yucks or whether it's real, I'm like, you all are doing exactly what they're doing to us right now. So it tells me that if you had the power, like these fuckheads do, you'd look to kill me too.
So, Jerry, truth be told, I forgot that you were older than me. When I came up with
I wasn't. 40. Yeah, I wasn't even.
No, I did, and I felt as soon as you were like, "Oh, well, thanks a lot," I forgot that. I remember.
That's okay.
Like, oh yeah, so we'll go with 1 year older.
Let me get to my daughter's 1-year birthday at least. Just do me.
Nope.
You could do me that solid.
I've already made the decision.
Shit.
The decision has been made, Jerry. No, so
as soon as the stream ends, sorry guys. See you later.
Rationale, and truth be told, when I started, it was at 65. That was my number I started with. But as I was looking at, I was trying to take the biggest chunk as possible based off of age alone, because at a certain point you become a burden on. Well, first of all, 65, we know that's the Social Security age, and a lot of nations around the world, they have like that's your retirement age or sooner, somewhat younger in some countries. So
and by the way, if there is none of that social what would you call it? Social network, net, like when I retire, at least I'm going to have some cashola, a little bit, even though it's not much. Like if you're in India, I don't know for sure, but unless you have your family members taking care, there's no cash coming from the government. There's no 10,000 rupees, hey, you made it thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think your point is even more well taken, not for countries like, industrialized countries who have that. Instead, more so, how many countries are there where there's an extra cot in the tent? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it. That's what I'm saying. Like 65, but I had to bump it down because I thought, well, let's take the biggest chunk out of the age first.
Sure.
And I just settled on 40 because it was selfishly, it was just a little
just
bit above where I was. So I would be one of the old wise guys who's like, oh, well, listen up, young folk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you could string along the smallest violin in the world. Do you realize how many friends I had that were of that age?
Yeah. I used to, I lost a lot of friends in the genocide. So here, let's real quick, because there's a lot of talk in the chat. A lot of guys here. Count Rhythm specifically. Any man who gains power is already corrupt, as we all are, which is true. Like, as soon as I started going through this and trying to figure out, I'm like, well, I'm gonna act in my own interest, right? And that was true. Like, my wife is not 40. I am not 40. My mom is over 40, but whatever, my stepdad or whatever, he's over 40. A lot of my family members are over 40, so I lose essentially everybody. But I acted in my own personal interest.
But do you get a cool Camaro?
I imagine that I would, because that would be the first thing I did. I would know, because I'm the guy who's in charge of this. I'd be like, let me find all the over 40s who have a nice Camaro. And I'm going to go to their house first. And then also Camaro owners would be the next on my list.
Yeah.
So this is some of the answers that we get. We don't get to choose, but if we did, let's first delete those who would. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're already at that point. That was like the top choice of like people who were like, well, anybody who's
after they were done sucking Ukraine's dick, they were like, but also guys, let's not. Yes, we're sitting here at the keyboards urging for war, okay?
But also,
but also, if someone says that they want to kill a bunch of people, then those should be the first to go. Okay.
And it gets worse. All right.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
So I'm gonna read this in that voice, if you don't mind. May I?
Please. Yeah.
All right. You let them filter themselves. You don't want followers, but thinkers. Okay. Those who took pause. Those who rebelled and didn't follow suit because it's what everybody else did, aka used incorrectly, aka the ones who utilized their free will.
Oh.
And you do this by offering them a carrot. So this guy comes with like, not only does he come with the problem, he comes with the solution, right?
Yeah, holy crap, dude.
So he's like, this guy is a free thinker, right? This guy is a thinker. He's surviving. He's
got a noggin.
He might even thrive in this new environment. And you do this by offering them a carrot to see who bites, and have them wilter and poison themselves off, thinning out their kind. Then you're left with the few and possibly wiser. You can try and have the conversation. If at that time you can't, there will be so few left, it'll be an easy and final slaughter. Okay? This is
Dude, I love the caveat. Possibly smaller. Possibly smarter. Just maybe.
He's trying to distance himself, but at the same time be like, I'm a fucking genius. I'm a brilliant man. And I deserve to survive this. Okay. But in reality, what they are is they're just like Hitler, but also like trying to distance themselves from Hitler. It's like if Hitler was trying not to be Hitler, is what it is.
Yeah, he shaved his mustache to distance himself.
At the end of the day, you're still Hitler, right? So the current policy is everyone below IQ 100 gets a medal and a stack of free cash, is the answer somebody gave. Somebody else said, let the aliens choose. And then, as you go down, it's like the less popular answers. And then, like, some of the ones that I even upvoted. Politicians and cyclists first. And somebody was like, bicyclists? And he's like, yep. And then we have a talent show. That's a pretty good choice. I'd say unwelcome aliens can die first or leave. I would appreciate the enthusiasm, but he'd probably be the first one to go. Snarfle the Garthog. I don't know what that means, but somebody...
It's a great name.
Nobody else knows what it means.
Sounds a bit Jewish, but it's a great name.
Speaking of Jews. No, why would we listen to aliens telling us to reduce our numbers? We need every man and woman to retake our home. We've got here Spartacus here, a bunch of people joining his cause. The unvaxxed will be the survivors. This is a pretty good choice. And then, let's see. Somebody.
By the way, Tom, I think the unvaxxed will be not even by this voting situation, just...
We'll be fine. We'll be all right.
If there's still due process, even a little bit, by the time we get our day in court, all those other fuckers will be dead. It'll
already be down to 1 billion. Yeah, we got to get from 8 billion to 1 billion. We're already on our way there.
That's right. That's what this was.
Somebody said preferred pronoun. By preferred pronouns is how we filter them out.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Okay. That's
good.
But
he also put sarcastic, like the hashtag hash. Sarcastic. So clearly this is somebody who probably, if I pulled up their profile, I'm not going to, but if
probably
I pulled
has
it up, probably has got pronouns or whatever. This is eugenics.
I want to go around with someone else's. Not my preferred pronouns, someone else's.
It's got to be somebody else's pronouns. This is somebody who's pretty popular, apparently. He's got 32,000 post karma. Let's see what kind of posts this guy has. I don't know if that's good or not. I have 50,000. He's got. Oh no. Okay. Oh, hold on. This seems like a pretty cool guy because he's got.
Okay.
He posts in the Church of COVID, which is like a joke subreddit. Fully automated luxury communism technology possible. Byzantine gold coin. He posted a. He's. Yeah, I mean he's got some stuff in here.
Okay.
Will Smith and Chris Rock during their modeling days. Two guys. Seems like a funny dude. All right. I'll give him some credit. He's probably being funny. Okay.
Yeah, you do have to read those, right? Because that's the problem with today's society, sort of, is that you go, all right, is this real or is this a troll? And it's very hard to tell because I could see a person honestly answering this way as well as, the troll.
Hold on. I have to... I'm going to switch it to you real quick.
Okay.
So that I can kiss my wife.
See, and this, again, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, this is one more scenario where I, in spite of being part of the team, still have yet to see what his wife looks like. I don't even know if she or his children... No, I've seen the children. I don't even know if his wife exists. That's how this is gone. And then
I didn't even let him see on the...
He says, "Oh yeah, Jerry, I'm not going to let you see my wife in this situation, even off screen. Secondly, anyone over 40 has to die. No, but totally, guys, I have a wife. But no, totally, guys, I totally do. The one guy who could see my wife, I won't let do it, and he's also over 40, which is the people I say have to die first.
That's why I have to kill Jerry, because he's the only one that can prove that I'm
that he's a fibber.
Lying. All right, so
all right,
so now we know.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, please go do what you have to do, Jerry. So we've decided, what can I do for this period of time in which Jerry is gone and it's just me talking. I was ill prepared for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share the website once again, youhadmepodcast.redbubble.com. If you go there and purchase anything from there, we benefit from that in a little bit. We get a little bit of the product cut, but most importantly, you get some cool You Had Me at Bigfoot merch. Specifically, let me show you this. This is one of my favorites. I think this is the most recent t-shirt, that most recent design that we've had. It's the Don't Ade Dewey. Thundercock Jackson wants me to stare into the camera until Jerry comes back, which is way funnier to me than trying to sell merchandise. But yeah, you can actually get the and then Stefficus, everybody all of a sudden wants to be little chatterboxes in the chat and talk about what they want me to do. Stefficus said a magic show. Rin App Rice says, I don't know what's going on, and I don't know who survives, but the survivors are who writes down the legends of the future. Just got here. What are you guys' opinions on religion versus ultimate reality? Wow, that is a deep conversation. And I always say this anytime, Jerry, I went ahead and tried to sling merch while
sell some merch. Well, you know what's funny? I came back to hear that very deep, and I didn't hear the whole thing. Yeah. And I'm not that bright, so even if I did, I wouldn't have retained it. And I thought to myself, holy shit. I walk away for half a second and they get into this deep conversation. Meanwhile, I was going to the bathroom thinking, has anyone ever referred to pee as bladder batter?
Bladder batter. Gross.
That's it. I was standing there peeing.
How would you spell that, though? Because, you can go either way, right? You pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Blatter, which is wrong, but batter is batter, or is it bladder?
Oh, as in bad to the bone.
DDER. It could go. Yeah. You'd have to spell one of the words wrong, or you.
So how's one wrong? What's the? I'm actually lost. So you're saying batter, batter,
batter, right?
Right.
And then batter or bladder is spelled
Right.
Bladdder.
Oh, so you're looking for it. Oh, you're
You'd have
looking.
to
I
decide
see.
which one you want to go
I
with.
got it. I got
And
it
they
now.
would be like, you could do it like if you were doing a logo, you would do
Mm-hmm.
BLA.
Is this? Did I just find our next shirt? Is that what? Are we doing that right now?
Maybe.
Wow, I had no idea. I can't believe this caught on so well with the chat.
It was a popular topic, so it would be like that, right?
Right.
Bladder
Yeah.
back. But or you could do it with D's, but you'd have to pick one or the other, right?
Right.
Or really, you could do it wrong for both of them. Bladder batter. It's all messed up.
That's fantastic.
What a terrible idea. All right, but I like it. I would wear that shirt.
Dude, it's like a band you knew like in high school, right? I had a friend.
But, like the drummer died because he took a shot that he didn't.
Dude,
the
I had
drummer
a friend's
from Bladder
band.
Batter died. What a freaking bummer, right?
Dude, a friend's band in high school was named Microwavable, and they misspelled it. You know?
That's
And
pretty
so
good.
and they had like a radiation sign as their logo. And I'm just thinking about that while I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, bright yellow shirt to represent P, bladder batter. Dude, it's a winner, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the chat seem to be into it. So you may have come up with the new spelled both of them being spelled wrong. And then I'll just draw like a bunch of twigs and shit coming off of it like a hardcore metal band. All right, so we're down to, I don't know how many. I think we should have, let's just roll with it rather than coming up with numbers and doing the math and stuff. Let's just roll with who we would get rid of to make the world just like a cool place.
Cool.
Let's try not
Has
to
anybody
be
in the
racist.
chat said anything?
Let's try not to be racist. Let's do our
Try
very best
not.
to not be
Let's
racist.
be a little creative. More than racist.
So the gays, right? The gays are next. The gays. No. So
I always love when people say that when it's like, if played out properly, like without government systems and stuff, that trail ends on its own. Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Well, don't they like come after your kids or whatever? Didn't you tell me that's what Homeboy was doing?
Didn't I tell you that?
Didn't he tell us that?
Not every, but let's say a good number. Well, doesn't everybody remember what Milo got in trouble for? For those who know who Milo is, I mean, as much as he's like
about how he was molested, right?
He not only talked about how he was molested, but then that he had a groomer that brought him into the gay scene. Like, he was like 13, I don't know, whatever, 13, and he had like a 30-some-odd-year-old just like gay dude who he, also messed with, and then introduced him into the gay lifestyle or whatever. That's what he said. He said it happens all the time. That's what I'm not even saying it. A gay guy said it. I'm not saying it.
So let me ask you this, Jerry.
Yes.
Presumably you've had your first gay experience. So, like, let's not even go making baseless accusations about people having gay experiences.
But Jerry, you look like you've had at least 3 gay experiences.
Yeah, I could count on all the hands in this room how many gay experiences I've had. But how else would you? You know what I mean? Like, how else would you discover homosexual thoughts? I think naturally we are okay. So
if you just found the guys on Full House attractive, that means you're gay, right?
But nobody. I doubt that anybody would feel that. Okay, so here's confession time. Okay.
Okay.
I was molested as a child. No, I was never molested as a child. But I was watching.
I love how the statement, "What if you found the Full House guys attractive?" And you're like, "Confession time."
Confession
I'm
time.
like, "Oh boy." Here we go.
Have mercy. All right. No,
I have mercy.
As a young boy, I was I watched what was that movie, Never Ending Story, and like the main character is a very feminine boy. I didn't know
Yes.
that it was a boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a young confused boy, I was like, you know,
You're like,
maybe
she could lead the swimming team.
right, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then come to find out, I'm like, oh, that's a boy. Okay,
Right.
my bad. I made a mistake here,
Yep.
and I moved on from that. I didn't say, I never had anybody tell me, oh,
Mm-hmm.
what, you what? What's the matter with you? I'm like, oh no, whatever. My bad. I thought it was a girl, very feminine boy. Now I found it as a boy.
Yeah.
Not attracted to it anymore. But that's just the
Right.
natural order of things, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is, I
Well,
think,
here, let me throw you something,
yeah, go ahead.
and it's not about me.
Somebody in the chat, Thundercock, said, oh, hell no.
That was our old gag. Are they doing that callback? That would be even better. So okay, I grew up with somebody who I was over their house one time. We were very young. Couldn't be any older than middle school age. Okay?
Are you
And
justifying your first gay experience?
it's not, first of all, it's not about me. I'm not, no.
Thundercock said, now every time someone makes a joke about the horse dying, which, by the way, nobody ever makes a joke about the horse dying in Never Ending Story, but he said Tom gets this weird feeling.
Yeah, when Tom sees a big white stallion drowning in a pool of mud. All right, anyway.
In a swamp.
In a swampy mud with a young boy just going, no, no. All right. So a kid I grew up with, again, that old, I went over to his house one time, and he showed me his mom's Playgirl mags.
So there were naked men in it, is what you're saying.
Right. And I just thought, like, looking back years later now, knowing he's gay, I'm like, oh yeah, he found those, and that he knew. You know what I mean? Like, maybe, I don't know what it's like to feel that way, but I'm assuming if you get a boner at whatever it is, if it's a man, a woman, or a fire hydrant, you know that you have an interest level, right? You know what I mean? So I can't speak for him, but if you're so either ignorant or confident in just being like, hey dudes, you want to hang out? I got my mom's Playgirl magazine.
Yeah, that's pretty gay.
You know, that's pretty fucking gay, isn't it? I mean,
well, so I had a similar situation. Well, not really. I never was introduced to Playgirl magazines. I was too busy watching Neverending Story. No, I had a friend who never did anything kind of that I would have later on realized oh, that's a gay guy. But he was a friend of mine growing up, and then I looked him up years later on. I'm like, oh man, I haven't even touched base with so and so. I don't want to say his name.
Sure.
But I said I haven't touched base with so and so in years. It's been forever. I wonder what he's up to. Open up his Facebook. Gayer than AIDS. I look on there and it's just got rainbow shit everywhere, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was just open, gaping buttholes. I was like,
no,
what?
well, I didn't dig that deep into it.
Tom, when you say gayer than AIDS, you better bring the gaping assholes.
Well, no, it's okay. I forgive
Tom.
Me. Gayer than
Tom.
Gayer than I don't know what's less gay than AIDS. I gayer than come on a mustache. So.
Jerry, I mean, gross, that is Jerry. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So who's next? Who's
gayer
next?
Than, hold on.
We
gayer
have 65
than,
and older.
Okay.
Lady Gaga. I mean, Lady Gaga's kind of hetero.
Maria Abramovich, one of them.
You're
the Podestas. That's
no,
what brought us
gay.
together.
They're pretty gay.
So they're included. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to for me. Gay is binary. Okay, so let me explain my opinion on that. You're either gay or you're not. Okay,
I've heard that.
There's not oh, he's a little gay. We make a lot of gay jokes, and I think it's funny to make gay jokes, and it's funny to say gay things. But as soon as you take a penis inside of you, you have crossed a line. Okay,
right.
So you can be. Haha, that's oh, that's pretty fucking gay, dude. But then
right.
then all of a sudden it's whoa. There's no There's no buffer. There's no grace. Right. There's no gay grace area, right?
Okay, so for example, if you remember the Wet Hot American Summer movie.
I'm aware of it, yeah.
Okay. Well, the guy who plays the tough cop on Law and Order SVU, the first iteration where it was like him and the woman for like 15 years and then he left or whatever.
Bald guy. Now he's he's in the Russian, or I'm sorry, he's in like the organized crime.
Oh, he's in a different one now? I see. Well, he was also in Wet Hot American Summer and he played the kitchen, like the chef for the camp, and he kept saying really gay shit after like he was a Vietnam vet who had like weird flashbacks and would say and do weird shit, and then someone would start to walk away at the end of an awkward conversation. He'd go, "Buttholes are neat,"
or so that's fun, right? So
or
like that's
something
silly.
Like that, right? So
it's
if
not
you
really
find
gay.
out, okay, right? So if you find out, oh, he wrote all his own lines, very funny off the cuff. That's not making him gay. But then if you find out that off camera he was having dudes shove cans of cream corn in his butthole, then you're like, well, that's also dangerous, but also very gay. Yeah.
Gay.
That's how you do that.
Yeah. Now, to me, if you take any kind of enjoyment out of gay stuff,
right,
or you physically do gay stuff, you're gay. I mean, there's just like
I think
no
gay
question.
people would agree with you, right? I mean,
right? Yeah, but like if
I like how people would take this out of context and be like, "Oh my god, listen to these guys," and it's like, no, I'm pretty sure gay guys would be like, "Oh no, we were just doing some gay shit,"
pretty natural. I mean, it's like factually gay stuff, right? So
yeah, like if it's in reverse,
you're making jokes about gay stuff. So like it's a weird anomaly, right? It's not like, so imagine if a gay guy does some straight stuff, that dude is still gay, right? Because he's done gay stuff.
That's right.
But like if a straight guy fucks a guy, that's not a straight guy anymore. You're gay now. Like what can you do? You're gay. So it's a weird.
Mean, at least,
it's almost like a scarlet
letter. Do you look
letter.
at gay as an ethnicity?
So are you talking about like the difference between like ethnically Jewish versus practicing Jews? So then there's like ethnically gay versus practicing gay.
Well, first of all, if you ask how many guys there are like from like the 50s who just, society wouldn't let them, so they just had like a marriage with kids for all those years, but
so
they were totally
are ethnically gay.
Ethnically gay, but not practicing. But then on the other hand, right? Like let's say for example, one time while on Molly, you're gay. Did something. Well, yeah. But wait. It was only once, and let's say you're like 50. It never happened again. You didn't, whatever it is, right? That would still make you 1/10 gay, right? Because there are straight guys who don't have that one time. So you have to count it, but maybe you're not totally gay. Like, you're the person who says they're Irish on St. Patrick's Day, but the truth is, if they look at your 23andMe, you only have
English. You're just like English,
well, you're
but your ancestors lived in Ireland.
You see what I'm saying? It's so like there's a difference between Fauci trying to cure AIDS, right?
Here's my opinion on that, Jerry. I do have an opinion on that.
Okay. Right.
This is when it's serious, when I take the pen lid off the back and I put the cap back on the pen.
Dude, can I just say, we started literally talking about who we would kill first, and now we're going into who's gay.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thing. It's in the same
I don't know how we got here.
Here's the thing, Jerry.
Okay.
If I never know about it, so everybody is their own judge of who's gay. Okay? So if if you tell me, hey, I did this gay thing, I'm going to be like, well, Jerry, you're gay. But your wife never knows about it. You never tell your wife about it. And I never tell your wife about it. To your wife, you're not
straight.
Gay.
That's right.
Only you have to live with that fact.
Only you can prevent gay fires.
Only you can prevent the fact that you're gay from getting out. So, like, I have to live with that, and you have to live with that. But your wife never has to know that you're gay. Okay? So
Okay.
to her, you are not
Mhm.
gay. Gay is not
Right.
a thing that you gay. It's
Turn on
weird
and
because
off.
it's like gay is a thing that you are if you are, but it's also a thing that you aren't if somebody doesn't know that you are. Right? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things like you can not be gay to the world. The world doesn't have to know you're gay,
Hmm.
but you're gay, right? Um
Yeah, that's what people say because that's the whole coming out thing, right?
yeah. So but like I don't know, man, you have to deal with that. you know?
Hmm.
Um so that to me,
Oh
so
wait,
I'm
there's a
I'm
really good
that
question here
guy.
from Thundercock.
Yeah,
What
he
about
said, but would you
docking?
tell his wife? No, I don't ever.
No, no. What about docking? Sometimes you need a refill
No,
from the
I
homie.
think docking is incredibly gay. That's probably about the gayest thing that you can do, right? Because
Yeah, I think
women have buttholes, right? So if you fuck a guy
I've
in
heard
the
of it.
butt, it's it could be a woman. Who knows? I don't know. But then
Oh
women
wow.
also have mouths, so technically,
I don't.
it's
Is
not that
that?
gay. I don't know.
Do we have someone in the chat who could
Can we
fact
verify
check?
that women
Can we
have
fact
mouths?
check Tom? Yeah. I've
but
never heard my wife speak, so I don't know.
but I find that hard to
Is
believe.
that
All women speak, but then some more than others.
See,
But
ladies, I was calling back to our Patreon only pre-show discussion, and you'll just have to figure out
yeah,
how
you might not
serious I
let me
was
know.
about that statement. I
But
guess, unless you want to join the Patreon group.
yeah, you can always contribute $1 hair a month and be a part of the Patreon. but but yeah, I don't, but yeah, if you're docking, I mean, that's a penis and a penis. That's like the definition. That's the gayest thing that you can do.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
If it's penis to penis and that penis happens to be an asshole, that's I think the only way it's gayer.
well,
You know?
so then we get into like some gray area, right? Like with women
Some
who
gay area.
some
We're
gay,
already
we
here,
get into a
Tom.
gay area
Yeah,
where
we're already here.
people who go from male to female, is it
Hmm.
gay to bang a male to female transgender? And the answer is yes, because it's still a
Yes.
penis. It's just tucked inside of, and plus it's disgusting because I have never heard of a transgender surgery going well to where somebody's like, I am really impressed by my neo vagina, my well of hell. And then we have, let's see here. Thundercock says, all I'm thinking about is the why are you gay? The black guy interviewing the other guy. Why are you
Oh.
gay? I was trying to do it. I can't do it. And then what about the gay virgin incel? These are all questions that I think we may have to address on another day. There are a
I was
lot
gonna
of
say we're running out of
circumstances-
time, and this is
Yeah,
like
we're in
I
trouble.
think it's you know what it is. Here's what it is, Tom. People are so flippant when they say, "Oh, I'm just gonna get rid of these people," and then you go, "Okay, but when you say these people,
are what exactly? How do we?
who? Right? You can't
Who falls?
because then,
So if we were to get rid
Right.
of that area, is it just everybody who has done a gay thing?
dude,
Or
for
is
real,
it everybody
like,
who is an unrepentant homosexual?
dude, think about this right now, right? For any person who doesn't think that this is a comedy show, that we're not saying things for purposes of humor and poking and whatever to get a react. For those who don't even realize that, right? If you think we're cereal, we have our definition that you think is cereal. Imagine the Iranian guy
Mhm.
who gets to have the same vote and has a definition of what is
I
gay
feel
guy.
like I'm pretty lenient
know?
about like what's gay and what's not gay. You know what I mean? Like if I
I
don't
mean,
know that
you know.
you've done some like Jerry, I don't know your sexual history. I assume
That's true.
it's only with your wife, and that's the only person you've ever been with.
Yeah, obviously.
And the only person you've ever thought about. That's how I imagine it. But
Yeah.
if I were to find out that at some
I
point,
think it's weird that you imagine it.
well, I think about it often. I think about your guys' salvation quite a bit.
I see. Gotcha.
But like, or
Well, thank
Megabit,
you.
for instance. Let
That's
me
actually not bad.
use Megabit as an example. I know
Let's do that.
that Megabit has only had one sexual partner, and it
He's
is-
literally talking about crossing swords in the chat.
well, he's speaking. He's
Is-
speaking from.
Oh,
a
he's talking
position
about a
of-
hypothetical. I see.
Yeah, So I know that he has only ever had one sexual partner, and it's his beautiful bride, who is also in the chat,
Is
Stephicus.
that the one with the hot mom?
Yeah. That's her.
I didn't. Steph, listen, I know I don't know you, so I want to apologize. But that after that happened, however many weeks ago, I vowed to myself that there was going to come a time very soon that I would absolutely make sure to put Tom on the spot again. But just even if he hairbreadth mentions you're here or had a statement or a question, my immediate would be, oh, the one with the mom you think is hot and everything.
Yeah,
The one with the hot
her.
mom.
Stephicus's mom is stunning. Like, if I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna double down. If you look at
I think
her
you
Instagram,
are. I don't know if you noticed.
If you look at her Instagram, every once in a while she'll post a picture of her mom, and I'll post like the emoji, like the sweaty one or whatever. You know, like, oh, I will, because she's a beautiful woman,
Wow.
a very attractive woman. And,
My goodness.
yeah, like, there's no denying it. I can't sit here and pretend like I can't play it cool or whatever around. As soon as her mom comes onto the Instagram, you know, I turn into a puddle, really.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a hot mess whenever Stephicus's mom appears on the Instagram feed. So, anyways, how do we talk about crossing streams? We talk about crossing swords. We have these questions in the chat going on. And then also Stephicus, while we're talking about her mom, she's over here talking about how she and Megabit have a game that they play where they try to determine if somebody is gay based on their walk alone. And that is something that
that's, you know what, that's
where
a good start.
So as we're sitting here doing this review of who all needs to just be obliterated,
who's in line, yeah,
do we do it based on the way they walk, or do we have, I mean, I feel like, so
are we talking in general? Like, if I see
me,
someone walking weird, I'd probably want them to go.
You just want to get rid of them just based off of their walk.
Yeah, it's not even a gay walk. I'm just saying, like, let's say you walk
if
weird.
You don't like a walk.
Yeah.
So Jerry, this is where I want to go next with it. Let's get off of the gay train. Let's hop off the gay train for a minute. But let's also assume that it's the aliens who decide, and when the aliens say to us, "Hey man, who's next?" we say the gays.
Right.
Okay. Get rid of the gays.
Well, you're at least pointing away from yourself. We know that. You know what I mean?
It's up to them to decide who the gays are. Okay.
Oh, so you just say a statement. You don't even know if they know it.
We say, get rid of the gays. Boom. The aliens decide. And then if all of a sudden your friends disappear, you're like, I knew he was gay. I knew that guy was gay, right?
Have you ever seen him walk? I fucking knew it.
I knew he was docking dudes, right? And that's whatever the aliens, they determine.
Not the band docking, by the way, anybody. Listen, we just meant.
Blood is off our hands, right? It's off our hands, right?
Look, if you just say,
and then I'm gone. Like it's basically the Infinity War situation,
dude. Okay? You do your hands like that, and then you put your cloak around your face, and then you're gone. You're magic.
No, I do this number. Right. All right. So the gays are next. I don't know how many that is, and I don't know the alien judgment. But let's see who's next. To me, cripples.
Mm-hmm.
Cripples are
cripples.
Okay. Now hear me out.
Does it matter why they're crippled?
Again, I'm going to put that in the aliens' hands. Now hear me out.
Okay.
I come from a position. I'm doing like one for the people, one for me. One for the people, one for me. Like one for the good of humanity, one for me. So that's kind of like my idea. So the 65 and older, good for humanity, because we don't have to worry about the elderly crapping up our medical system, crapping up our retirement system, crapping up all that stuff. Hopefully it kind of like
also using our bathrooms,
crapping up our toilets. Yeah. Which is what toilets are for, right? So it's like I'm being extra judgmental.
So
like
I've
heard.
Shouldn't
be. Yeah, from like that's like the tagline for toilets, right? Crap these up. But then the gays, that's for me. Okay, we're just. And when I say gays, I think also that would probably take care of most of the trannies. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? We're gonna take care of a lot of the trannies, but then with the next one, the cripples, we're freeing up the healthcare system because they do put a
Even further. Yeah.
huge damper on our medical system. That's going to alleviate a lot of our problems. But also, I think cripples, I think that's also got to like accommodate the mentally crippled, right? So like the people who are a burden upon the system.
So Tumblr.
Right, that's part of them. Yeah. So like the people who are a burden on the system because of their mental illness, I think that falls under that category. But that would also fall under like the trannies again, because trannies are
you're really
mentally
cross-sectioning on this one.
I'm doubling. I'm making sure I take care of every category, all the runoff, all the leftovers. I want to make sure I catch them on the next one. So the gays next is cripples. What do you got next for? I think I've done a pretty good job of transitioning us out of like burdens on the system. Who else we got?
All right, I'm going to be a little bit more petty, I think. So, for example, people who have recreated anything from my childhood.
So the rebooters.
Rebooters. And anyone who unironically, without any alcohol in their system, will blast Lee Greenwood's Not Proud to Be American other tracks. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I could understand for one reason or another at one point just being like, this is incredibly great because it's fun. This is, like liking the song not for what the song was supposed to be liked about. But then imagine the guy on the B side who goes, no, but you haven't heard. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't know that. It's just the one song you can get away with, and that's it. So the guy listening to the B side of Lee Greenwood blasting it, unironically enjoying, you're dead. I'm sorry. You're dead. Also, Taylor Hawkins.
How many people do you think that is? And then also Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah. Also Taylor Hawkins. I don't know if that's been done.
Well, we'd have to talk to Dave Grohl and Anthony Fauci.
That's it. Hey, are you trying to give us an example of what happens?
So who's next? So we've narrowed it down. Yours has yours narrowed it down by like 3. So,
dude, in all seriousness, and I realize cross sections abound or whatever. Child predators has to be. I mean, although I have to admit, Tom, can we make? How do we do this? I got to ask you for the help on this one. I want them to be gone for obvious reasons. On the other hand, I think we could both admit that we like watching the videos of them getting caught without actual kids, like by the Pop Squad and by
the for sure. That's like all I watch on YouTube.
Yeah, so how do we get rid of them but also lose that content, right? So
listen, Jerry.
You understand what I'm getting at? Are we all making sacrifices?
Jerry, no. Here's what we do. Here's how it goes down.
Okay. All right.
In this situation, we have aliens who have traveled potentially interdimensionally,
at least from Mexico,
right? Yeah, they came across the border, but let's be honest, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to get across the border, apparently, because we've just hit like a billion since the beginning of the year or whatever. It's a million and a billion. They're very similar numbers. I've
heard of both numbers.
Yeah, who knows what's going on down at the border, but anyways, the Biden administration will say that it's less than 12 people who have crossed the border, but I would say that these aliens have traveled a great distance and with a great knowledge. They're very smart, very intelligent creatures. So I would say that they have the ability to somehow more effectively lure child predators than we have. So they're able to do it. and identify and maybe track, maybe discover, maybe identify just by looking out into a crowd who among them, or going on social media and being like, oh, that's a predator. I feel like they'd be able to better filter our planet on and know who on our planet is a predator. And so I would say that with that, coupled with all the people who are already doing or who are interested in doing these YouTube kind of predators catching videos, I would say that they would be able to make it happen to where they're able to do like this huge targeted thing where they catfish all these predators, get them all in at one time, and record it all, get it all uploaded onto YouTube so that we will have plenty of content to review for the coming years.
That'd be great.
And so we'll have that, but then also we'll be getting rid of the child predators once and for all. But instead of them being like, oh, well, you know, I can't do anything because the police aren't going to do anything, or I'm here for exposure,
or
whatever.
They're the
At
aliens.
the end of the video, when the people try to get into their car, the alien just fucking zaps them in their car and disappears. So it's like, we win anyways, because as far as we're concerned, once these people drive off, we never hear from them again. But
true.
with the aliens just obliterating them, we don't ever have to worry
I have
about
told
them.
you, by the way, you watch Pop Squad.
I did. Yeah, I've watched through their entire catalog.
I live near someone who was caught on Pop Squad.
I remember that. Do you live near the guy who does? Do you live near Nito?
If he still lives in the same area, because I kind of lost touch with that, I would say I'm like 40 minutes.
Nice.
40 minutes away.
So you live within a 40-minute radius of Nito.
I live within a 40-minute radius of Nito, and the guy he caught a 2-minute walk.
So, like, you live within a 2-minute walk of where Nito is willing to go.
Well, he didn't know. He actually lured the guy up to where he is.
Oh.
Believe it or not. Yeah. So, like, it wasn't, thank goodness it's not like I go to, like, a local Denny's or something, and I'm like, oh, is this the seat? You know, like, that's not a thing. But, but although I do kind of know, because that's the thing, right? It's in the same state. So sometimes I'm like, all right, if I know, it's like one of the earlier videos, he's maybe doing it within his own town. So if I travel around, I think it was Bristol, which, by the way, is where ESPN is. If I travel around there, am I going to see? Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
See the landmarks that Nito has passed.
Right.
It's so funny because he's like a celebrity to us, but like if you anybody who's in the chat who hasn't watched the Pop Squad videos,
yeah, they don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, like Nito's a nobody to them, but Nito is like a huge part of our culture or whatever. As like people who watch Predator videos or whatever, and then, like I watch them all now. Like I've run out. It's so horrible because I never thought I would have this problem in my life. Is I've run out of like Predator videos from the people I like. Right, I've watched the Chris Hansen ones, the To Catch a Predator and Hansen vs.
Oh, those.
I've watched them.
Man.
They're timeless. Right, I've watched them so many times. In fact, one semester of my of graduate school, that's all I watched. Like I would nice. Turn on my my little touch. What the fuck's it called? Anyway, I have like one of those little tablets that turns into a computer or whatever. Anyways, I had one of those, and it was exclusively for watching To Catch a Predator. Like that was it, because I would turn it on as I would be reading or as I'd be working on something. But that's all I would watch, and I watched every one hundreds of times. I can tell you exactly how every single To Catch a Predator ends if you ask me. But or like the funny things from that, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the guy who's like, oops.
Wait till this guy says this. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but then like I've branched out when you said Pop Squad, or no, I'm sorry, because it was like I watched the CPP accidentally, like Colorado Pred Poachers or whatever, and then you were like, oh, you like that sort of video. There's this guy that I like. You were like old chums with Nito or whatever. You were like, there's this guy from where I'm from or whatever. He's Pop Squad or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out, because you know CPP was brand new and they didn't have so much content. And then meanwhile, Megabits telling me, oh, you need to watch this other fucking guy. Dap, who's also very good. You know, so I'm like watching all the Pop Squad. I'm watching all the Dap. I'm watching my CPP. But I've like exhausted their entire catalogs, all of them.
Wow.
And then because what I do is I'll turn them on. I use, this is somebody else in the chat. This is what I love about, if nothing else, if I've gained nothing else from being a co-host on You Had Me at Bigfoot, it's that like sometimes people who watch the show have like really good advice. And somebody, and I don't remember who it was, I wish I did because this was like a huge help for me. They recommended getting this thing called, gosh dang it, what the heck's it called? YouTube Vanced, right? Like you can load YouTube videos and then you can just close out of it and close your phone, put it in your pocket, and continue listening to whatever was on it. It's like having YouTube subscription, premium, but not having to pay for it. And like these other features on this,
dude, I had no idea.
It's so good. And I was like it was a little sketchy when I first saw it because I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't like downloading shit on my phone. That is not like, you know, from a sanctioned or whatever. But like I use that all the time now. I'll turn on one of those predator catching things and I'll just throw my phone across the room and listen because I have my hearing aids, which are Bluetooth, so they continue to hear whatever's on my phone. And like I'll just listen to whatever predator catching thing that I'm watching while I'm washing dishes or doing laundry or doing yard work or whatever. And so I've exhausted all the catalogs. I had to start watching the Canadian predator catcher, which I shared with Megabit, who is now like the expert on this Canadian predator catcher. He's so funny too. But then like I've started watching this other one from Southern California who's kind of a goofball. But oh yeah, it must be Thundercock who told me about YouTube Vanced. But yeah, then this other dude from Southern California that I've been watching, he's got like this really like monotone voice or whatever, and he's kind of a goofball. But then also DAP branched out and they've got like other people, DAP South Carolina. I've been watching his shit. But like I'm so quick to burn through people's catalogs that like if I'm listening to this chick now who like does these predator catches and you know how I feel about women doing anything. I don't value them. I don't respect them as contributors to anything. But like she's in Indiana, I guess. But she does her own decoying. So like you get to see the part where she meets up with the predator and the predator thinks that she's the 14-year-old. So it's kind of interesting to see that part of it too. But anyways, yeah, that's, man, child predators, man. They deserve all the horrible things that happen to them with CPP. Yeah. Here's one thing about CPP, the Colorado pred poachers, is that the other people don't get is like CPP calls the cops as soon as they make contact with the person. So so then the cops show up and Colorado arrests a lot of the counties and a lot of the cities that he works in his area. They arrest. So no like kidding. he started compiling binders of all their screenshots and all their dick pics and everything, and he'll like hand it to the cop when they show up. He'll be like, hey, this guy just admitted on camera that he's this guy. Here's all his chat logs. Here's his dick pics. Here's the introduction. Here's, I made sure to do it by the books. You guys do what you got to do. What do you need from me? Nothing? Yeah. Okay, I'll send you this video as soon as we're done. They'll make the arrest. Boom, take the guy to jail. Whereas Pop Squad, you know, you've got Nito who's doing this number. Hey, man, fucking, you know, stay an arm's length away from me or whatever. But, like, he unfortunately wasn't able to do anything about it. But, yeah, I get it, man. Child predators, they should be further up the list. I'm going to go ahead and bump them up to, doesn't matter. The 65 and older, that's a huge group that we need to take care of. We'll put them up there with the gays. Like you said, there's some overlap. What else do we got, Jerry? Who else do we got to get rid of? We still, I mean, we're going to have to eventually, here's my opinion on the matter. I'm not going to say the blacks, right? Because that's what everybody's waiting on me to say. Everybody's waiting for me to say the blacks. What I'm going to say is I'm going to say felons, okay?
Oh, okay.
Not because it has anything to do with the blacks, but I will say that by taking felons out, just getting rid of felons, in addition to child predators, because once a child predator, always a child predator, they're gone. If they've ever served time for it, I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you. But felons, we're going to take out a lot of people who, you know, we're gonna ease the burden on our corrections system.
Okay.
And I think death row. I think that's a great play. I mean, but once you say felons, that's going to apply to the death row people too. But I think getting rid of felons, I think that's a good way to start. Would you agree with that one?
That is. Oh man, here's the thing.
Are you a felon, Jerry?
No. But here's what I am going with. I'm sitting here going, okay, rightly or wrongly, should we be, because I think in some states and even federally, for having certain amounts of weed, that makes you a felon.
So if would you say violent felons? Can we change that?
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I think that starts to become...
felons with violent crimes?
Violent, yeah. I could see that, sure. I'm a little more comfortable with that.
Okay, I get it. I agree.
You know, you're still going to have the making a murderer situations where you're going to be like, well, I guess we just killed two retards they tried to pin a murder on. But
yeah, remember that dude? He's like, remember the retarded guy? And then also, I showed up and he was all sweaty. There was sweat everywhere. There was sweat on his butt crack. You know, like he was talking. Remember the retarded kid who was doing that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But okay, so felons to making a imagine. Yeah, you have to imagine the fucking weirdo. But frankly, who cares? You know, and you know, I've never seen some. So let me tell you this, Jerry. And maybe you can agree with me or you can disagree with me, and I'm willing to have that discussion. Have you ever met somebody who said that they didn't commit a crime, and they looked like the person who didn't commit a crime? Have you ever seen somebody who looked like an innocent person say, "It wasn't me"? You know, dude, I'm not here. I'm not supposed to be here. Has it ever been that person that you were like, yeah, maybe not?
I'm going to throw this out there. Now, actually met? No. But one of my favorite movies is The Fugitive. And I believed Harrison Ford the entire time. Even when he had that, like, mean guy beard, you know? Because remember, he was a very clean-shaven guy in his hero roles. And then here he is, bearded, doctor, coming from an award show, or award for himself. Maybe his wife's had a few too many glasses of wine. Want to make it about her even though it was his night, you know, something like that. But I still believed him the whole time.
Was he innocent though?
In the story?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the fictional character was innocent. Yes.
So can we
Richard
do this?
Kimball did not do it.
Can we do this again, Jerry? Here's the thing.
Okay.
We are handing it over
to aliens.
And I think they're going to know, right? They're going to know who.
Have you seen the Moon Knight episode yet, or no?
The new one?
There's the new Moon Knight show, yeah.
I have not. I didn't even know it was out yet.
Yep, it was. Okay, so have you ever heard of Moon Knight? Did you read any Moon Knight comics?
Gary, don't patronize me.
I'm sorry.
I know that it's coming. I saw the preview for it. I didn't know that.
No, but have you ever read the comics? The reason I'm asking is
I
because I've never read the comics either. But the villain has some connection to an Egyptian god, and he has this power to be able to tell if you're a good person. Future, past, or present, doesn't matter. If at any point in your life up till that point, or in Minority Report style later in your life, you are going to commit a crime, do something heinous, be a bad person, what have you, he can figure, I'm not going to say anymore, he can figure it out. There's a way he figures it out. And I'm sitting here just thinking, The aliens you're talking about are that.
That's what I'm kind of like imagining.
What you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're gonna diddle kids, then they're gonna know. That's kind of like
Right.
that's what I expect of these aliens, right?
We have to hope they know what a kid is, because if
They
don't,
traveled a great distance to
I'm
find
just
us,
saying,
right?
if we have to worry if they don't know a gay guy by his walk,
Listen,
I mean,
Jerry, here's the thing.
you know,
The way
I'm just
going from 8 billion to 1 billion, like you and I aren't gonna make it.
no,
Neither one
probably
of us
not.
are gonna make it.
They're gonna watch this show and go, "Are you fucking serious?"
It's gonna dwindle down to a point where even we're like men. Like, how do we get down to the 1 billion? We got no choice but to get rid of, like, okay, over 30.
Tom,
20?
could you imagine a scenario? Right? They're asking us. It's at a certain point, right? And they're kind of like a little lost. They want to maybe make it a little exciting. So instead, they have us, like society, whoever's left at a particular point, submit video, like a video kind of, hey, this is why I should be left on Earth, y'all, kind of thing.
And it ends up being a real world road rules audition tape.
Yeah, dude, but you and I send like this episode, we're like, no, but check this out. And then we go before the aliens and they're like, this is what you thought, this was what you should tell us to keep you here.
The correct answer was like those nerd answers that they gave.
Dude, fuck that. It's like you could have sent a video of you and your wife and children and you know, the things you grow, your animals, and how you treat them. Instead, you sent us a 3-hour video about how you slyly say that minorities and gays should be done first. and
it's so funny because we really are kind people. But then like as soon as we're on this show, we're like the most foul individuals.
Yeah, we're just assholes.
You know, like making disgusting comments about Stephicus's mother. You know, like that's the sort of shit that we're into.
I have to say,
that's what we share.
You know, I don't know her mother. I don't know her.
Beautiful
frankly.
Woman.
You know,
both of them. Truly. They really are.
But it's just great to me that you can freely admit, oh yeah, we say some shit on the show about like, and then you referenced her mother. And here she is every time that's happened. And it's only happened a couple times in my experience, probably way more. But this is the second time, and I'm sitting here looking at her in the chat just, oh my God, that's just happened in my whole life. Whatever, you guys. Oh my God. And then just continue going on like personal jokes on the side. Oh yeah, like gay guys who have better makeup than me, fuck those assholes. Whatever.
Yeah, they're gone. Out of here.
Tom's talking about how incredibly hot your mom is. It's kind of uncomfortable. Oh, I know. It's happened my whole life. Whatever. But those fucking gay guys with their makeup. Oh gone. My God. Right.
Outta
just
here.
Gone. And I'm just. It's pretty incredible, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And if, you know, and I'll say this as we close out because we're running out of time. I'll say this. I've sat here and I've said all sorts of disgusting things about Stephicus's mom being a beautiful and lovely woman. Like, you know, let's be honest. I have crossed some lines, and I also just now I did say some kind things about how Stephicus, she is an attractive young woman, but I would be remiss. I would just be doing a grave injustice. If I didn't speak to how incredibly attractive Megabit, her husband, is. Beautiful, beautiful, handsome man. You know what? And you know, I want to pick on him because I want to be like, there's no, you know that joke that you do when you're like, when you do that joke where you're like, no way, and I'm sure you've heard this, Jerry. No way, that baby is yours. She is just too pretty.
Oh yeah,
pretty. She clearly takes after her mother.
Dude, I say it all the time. Even though my daughter looks quite a bit like me, people say something kind, and I'll go, it can't be my fault. It's my wife's fault. You know.
Right.
I looked pregnant before and after my wife gave birth. It can't be me.
Yeah.
You know.
So you get to do all that now. As much as I have wanted to for the past several months. As much as I have wanted to use that joke on Megabit and say, "Oh, this can't be your kid. She is just too gorgeous. That is a beautiful, beautiful baby. There's no way she's yours. Like, who's your mailman? I got to get a look at your mailman because clearly, you know, this is not your baby." As much as I want to do that, I can't because
my own father-in-law said that to me.
He is a stunning and handsome man. Yeah, your own father-in-law said it to you.
Yeah, he said, when we announced that my wife is pregnant, he goes, "Well, who's the mailman?"
I use that joke all the time. I'm always like, "You must get it." I'll say that, like, somebody will say, "Oh, look at your son. He's so handsome," or whatever. I'll say, "Well, yeah, you should get a look at the mailman. Like, you should get a look at his dad, the mailman, or the milkman." I used to say milkman, but like that joke went over like a lot of people's heads. Because they're like that's really nobody gross, has a mailman. Like, it's always a lady. Because who's better at like looking at numbers on a piece of paper and putting it into the applicable spot than like a woman? Like, that's not man's work, right? A man's work is out there doing like useful stuff for society. Whereas
so lost.
I'm just making like all sorts of attacks on women and the mailman. All right, Jerry. I think we've successfully eliminated enough people for now.
I think we've
sustained we've satisfied the aliens' insatiable appetite. We've gone from 8 billion to who knows how many by getting rid of the 65 and older, the child predators, the gays, the cripples, the rebooters, those who unironically blast Lee Greenwood's songs other than Proud to be an American, Taylor Hawkins, all of them. Violent felons.
Yeah, when you get rid of Taylor Hawkins, that's at least 1 million people in that alone. One person.
It's already gone. Can you imagine presenting that argument to the aliens? We need to get rid of Taylor Hawkins. And be like, "Okay, well, I have some news for you, Jerry. I don't know if you're like a Foo Fighters fan or an Alanis Morissette fan, but..." And then violent.
Oh, that's it. Oh, what a great trick, right? You just go, "I don't know if you're a Foo Fighters fan or an Alanis Morissette fan." You go, "Oh, Alanis for sure. All right, he's next. Get him. He's done."
Yeah. So the next would be Alanis Morissette fans over Foo Fighters. That's the final one. People who prefer Alanis Morissette
to Foo Fighters.
To Foo Fighters. To Foo Fuckers. You have to be a real Foo Fucker. All right. What do you got to show this week, Jerry? Do you have anything that you need to say to these people?
Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming back with us after a brief hiatus. I'm glad I came back from the Mediterranean. I am happy that dude beat the shit out of me and knocked all the water out of my tum-tums for me to be here. You can come hang out with me on Telegram at no thanks. And yeah, it's been fun to be back.
We're happy to have you back from the Mediterranean, Jerry.
Thank you.
I would just like to thank Stephicus's mom.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.